not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, the Red Sox may not have gotten a lot of help at the trade deadline, but they continue to win ball games. They swept Houston yesterday 6-1 at Fenway Park. Lucas Giolito was the star of this one, allowing 1 run and 3 hits over 8 innings for the victory.
What I like most was securing the sweep. Pitching strong, going deep, giving the bullpen a little bit of a break, just having a solid day. Once we had that big inning, we put up 6 runs. It was like, all right, just keep on attacking, and we did that.
Sox have won 5 in a row overall and 21 of their last 26 at home. They open up a 3-game series with Kansas City at Fenway Park tonight. They also made some more news yesterday by promoting their top pitching prospects. 6'6", 250-pound lefty Peyton Tolley. He's headed to AAA Worcester and is expected to be with his new team tomorrow. Patriots gave their players the weekend off after an in-stadium scrimmage on Friday night. They'll be back at it at 10:15 this morning in another public practice behind Gillette Stadium. A joint practice with the Washington Commanders will take place on Wednesday morning, and then the two teams will play an exhibition game at Gillette Stadium Friday night. Last night, the NFL Players Union elected David White as their interim president. He is the former leader of the Actors Union. And amid reports he's purchased the WNBA's Connecticut Sun and is planning to move them to Boston. Former Celtics co-owner Steve Pagliuca released a statement last night which indicated that while an offer has been made to purchase the team, the deal is not done and won't be completed without league approval. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
And Hardy.
Who's Taylor the originator?
On 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? Don't Nick with your drinking at noon on Mondays.
Well, I tell her the truth. I miss booty.
That problem is too large for the starch.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
And I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Get her out of there! Yeah. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 Sports Hub on YouTube. And watch the show live. And watch it taped. Watch Joe at night. Watch Alex Barth at Patriots camp. Everything and everything else. Big day on the show today. There's new Jordan Hudson news. There's more dildos at the WNBA games. And it's not the dildos that are funny, because that's not necessarily funny at all. It's not funny. It's just whatever. But the reaction to the dildos is an attempt to get them not thrown anymore is what's very funny. Guys, do better.
Okay, now it's about public safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whenever anyone says do better, like just do better online, that's 1,000 more dildos. Like I might throw a dildo now.
What do you mean by better? More dildos?
Yeah, like if someone goes
Throw them farther and try and get in the center of the court? Is that what you mean by better?
First of all, if you're such a basic idiot that you just take terms that people use on social media and then repurpose them for yourselves, like you're so unoriginal, like quite a writer there, like just taking a slogan of like dumbasses and reusing it for yourself. So if you say do better, now I might throw dildos. Now I might have to bring a dildo in. And they kick the guy out for throwing the dildo, and they don't know if he's been arrested or not.
No,
yes, he's arrested for felony dildo throwing.
Yeah, apparently they did arrest
the first guy has been arrested.
First guy's been arrested.
Yeah,
second guy who did it he's under scrutiny. It may still happen.
The first guy, the first guy's arrested. He's going to go to jail for the rest of his life. I'd like to see that guy get prosecuted for what? Disorderly conduct. Ooh.
Yep.
I mean, Jesus Christ!
You've really proved your point.
And like, what would you fire the guy for? If the guy, you were the manager or the HR guy at a job, say he was a guy that was like a sales guy for a shoe company, like Al Bundy, and you were the boss, and it came out that he threw a dildo at a WNBA game. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna fire him? No, I'm not firing him. That is interesting to me. So we will get into that as well. I hope everyone had a good weekend. It's interesting as I saw 2 movies over the weekend. With
Whoa! All right, let me guess. You saw some superhero thing.
No.
Bad Guys?
I saw Bad Guys 2. That is the first movie that I saw.
The hell
correct.
is that?
It's some animated thing. I just saw a commercial for it, so it was a guess.
You already saw the Superman?
I did see Superman, yeah.
Yeah, do you like it better than Francesa?
We discussed this. It was fine. It was whatever. I mean, I don't really like superhero movies.
Well, right.
It was one of those days that was like 115 degrees, and I didn't feel like doing anything else. So I just was like somewhere by that movie theater and just walked in and was just like, all right, I'm
Old
hungry.
school. Here's my nickel.
Yeah,
Give me a popcorn and let me watch a show.
Yeah, all the Nickelodeons were shut down, so I had to go into the movie theater.
All right, so you saw the Bad Guys and what else?
A Naked Gun I saw last night.
Oh, I should have guessed that first. And?
I thought it was good. I mean, it's not like a classic or anything, but I thought as movies go, it was nice to see a comedy in a movie theater because that doesn't happen very often anymore. So I would suggest it's very short. Very, very short.
I like that.
But Liam
me
Neeson
in and out of there.
Yeah, Liam Neeson is good in it. But it's funny because this baseball stuff never ends. My son I got a text message from a guy I didn't know, and he asked if Milo wanted to participate in this thing that was going on at a college, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I took him to the college, and it was going on, and the coach of the college and the staff of the college were running the thing, and the thing went on. He did well, and like I left for like 3 hours and I came back and like was there for like an hour, and he did well. And then the coach of the college was real cool, and he was like going around and everything, and he took him and the other kids into this locker room and like kind of talked about the program, showed the facility, and 2 things happened. One, he said, I'd like to shake all the boys' hands. So, like, the parents were sitting next to the boys, but we were the second closest to the coach, and the coach came up and he shook one of the boys' hands, and then he walked and looked at me, but I didn't extend my hand because I thought he was just shaking the boys' hands.
Oh, okay.
And then he shook Milo's hand, and I was like, I wonder if I should have shook his hand, and it tortured me for the rest of the day. I'm like, should I have shook that guy's hand? But what's interesting about this stuff is, so it was a good event. Milo did well. The coach was very passionate and seemed like a great coach. The facilities were wonderful, and I left, and then I realized what just happened. I don't know what just happened. I'm just kind of letting you guys in a little bit into what this is like. I have no idea what's going on. So I saw at that point all these other kids were from New Jersey and New York. So I don't know any of them. I didn't recognize any, and I know pretty much everyone. If you're at that level, I at least kind of know, or certainly my son does, these kids. I don't know what the hell's going on. So I text the guy. I figured maybe I should realize what's going on. So I text the guy afterwards, and I'm like,
What is this thing that we're at?
I texted him afterwards, and I'm like, hey, are you guys from New Jersey? And he's like, yeah. Because all the cars were from like New York and New Jersey. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, how'd you find my son? And he never got back to me. And I'm like, huh. There's no other, I don't know if any other kid there was from Massachusetts. And it's not like this wasn't like some invite camp thing that like, you know, like the top 100 kids or something. This was just this random thing, but it was a good thing. It was being run by the colleges, but the college didn't invite them. It was this New Jersey, New York operation, and the kids were good that were in it, but it was just weird. And then you meet the coach and of this particular college, and then you like leave, and then you're like, okay, like what happens now? Because what happens is colleges reach out, and that happens, and then your son talks to the colleges, and that they kind of develop a relationship. Like, and Milo has a friend who took an offer already, and he's going into his junior year.
Jeez.
Yeah, he committed already, so good for him. I mean, I guess he must have really liked the school or something, so he committed already. Generally, you commit before your your senior year.
Yeah.
Like the summer before your senior year, you generally commit. What am I understanding? Now, you can commit during your senior year, and I've seen kids do that. Milo played Little League with a kid that didn't make the varsity of his ISL school. He was from Newton. He didn't make it the varsity of his ISL school until he was a junior. He broke his wrist before his junior season. He's a catcher. And then his senior year, finally got to play and ended up getting a D1 scholarship.
Wow.
Which is pretty impressive of the kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, just working through all that and like sticking with it I would give the kid a scholarship. I mean, that's a tremendous amount of fortitude. I would trust that kid to work hard for my program.
No, it's a good point. It's interesting. They'll find you. That's really impressive.
I don't know. I mean, like they gotta like see you play a lot, kind of, and so like it's you know kind of up to them when they come and when they don't. So I get it when the colleges reach out to your kid and they develop a relationship and then they go like, okay, I'm going to come see you play and stuff like that. But I don't. But so much of this I don't understand at all. And it's not bad. It's just I don't know what's going on. And I don't even know how you like educate yourself. And I don't want to make it my job. It's already so much of my time is spent just navigating this stuff. I don't want to become an expert on college recruiting. You understand? I want it like
especially, and you don't want to make it your job and devote lots of time to it when you're not even sure how much of it is real, how much of it is posturing, how much of it is just doing business for these guys. And
well, the thing is that I can tell the difference in that now. Like I know what's just business and what, and I have like people that I can, like his coach, and like I know a couple college coaches, and like I can ask them. Like I kind of know what's BS. Not like this was not a money making thing that he did.
Yeah,
this was. My guess is the guy needed local bodies to like be at the thing because his kids, like there weren't enough of them, so he went and looked for commensurate talent to like participate in that. That's my best guess. It's because there's databases if you're at a certain level of like of who you are.
Right.
But the only reason I'm bringing this up is not like I it's great and that all this is happening. It's great that these kids all get get exposure from colleges, and I don't have any problem with that. What I'm trying to make clear is I don't know if you understand how little I know about what's going on, and it's a very strange feeling. Is that you like go to something and like it all, and he did well, and you go to something he did well, he threw hard, kind of and then you meet the coach and everything, and then you just leave. And then when I'm leaving, I'm like, what happened? And my son's of no use. And so then I'm like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know who the guy who put this on is. I don't know really anything about his organization. Now, when he reached out and told me the organization, I looked it up and it's like legit. And like he runs like a really good organization. It's just not in Massachusetts. And he wasn't looking for Mile to play for him either, I don't think. So I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, really. It was at a major college, so like it was all legitimate. It's not like I took him into a guy's van and said, take him wherever you want.
Sure.
And also my son's 17 and a big kid, he can handle himself. But it's not like he's 8. But it was at a major college, and like it was a thing. But then this all happens, and then you leave, and I realize I don't know the guy who put this on, what this was for, and I don't know now. What you do with he met the college coach, and now you just like leave. I don't really understand what's happening.
As a parent, is it just as simple as, well, if getting a scholarship is a possibility, just getting your son not as much exposure as possible? You don't want to go nuts, but when given an opportunity, it's just as simple as putting him in front of more eyeballs.
Yes, that is what it is. But then there's also like, you go to tournaments, all over the country, but then I don't like I'm not gonna. You go to these places, and then the next weekend you're supposed to go for another team.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to go bananas with it, but at the same time, if that's a possibility, you take him to tournaments like this, or tournaments, showcases.
Yeah, showcases. But the thing is also like, I don't know if it's the best thing for him to play and travel around this fall. He's been playing baseball for 6 months.
Yeah, I get it. You don't want to blow his arm out.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know if it's like, what good it's going to do. Like, right. I'm not positive that he should be running around. This going all over the country. And who's going to take him? Jason, go ahead.
Fred, so your 17-year-old kid Milo is getting recruited and stuff like that, and you don't want to figure out and help him out how the recruiting process is. Just let him wing it on his own. Nice work, Fred.
What?
What
the hell was that?
No, he's not winging it on his own.
Oh my God. That was pretty much the opposite of what we were talking about the last 15 minutes. Freddie, I don't want to speak for you, but it seems to me that you're worried about where he's going and what he's doing.
Yes. My son is
dumbass call.
My son goes to an ISL school and plays for a national tournament team. He's doing the right thing.
What? People these 6 a.m. people are great.
Are you aware that I was in Hoover, Alabama, and Sanford, Florida
Fred,
this year?
That's what you get for admitting any vulnerability.
Yes. It's a total half-ass move. The 50 grand I've dropped on baseball.
You deserve that.
Stupid people just confined to the 6 o'clock hour? Or are they all the time? Oh, my God.
Yes. But my point is that maybe I am half-assing it. My job is not to – I'm not his agent. And I don't think coaches want that anyway. I don't think they want the dad reaching out. And there's enough for him to do. He's got to get bigger. He's got to –
And there are enough dads who do that. I've run into more than my fair share of them. There are enough dads that are over-the-top crazy about stuff like this and will drive their kids to showcases everywhere and make sure that they are the point of contact and said, above and beyond what a normal parent should do. The parent will call and the parent will.
Well, the
go
coaches
crazy.
I know told me that they don't want the parent to be the point of contact.
But that's just it.
They would like to talk to the kid.
That's the normal way of doing things. That's how they figure out what the kid's about.
Right. And then you step in at a certain point, like for instance, like Milo's friend who got accepted the offer. I'm sure at some point his father went, okay, like, let's go to the school. Like, let's meet. I want to meet the people, obviously, before you commit to the college. But I think during the recruiting process, one coach is a Big Ten coach, and one coach is a coach of another school, and so I'll take the Big Ten coaches. I'm friends with this guy, so I take his opinion. But thank you, I am half-assing it. As I've spent how much time, fellas, this year? Traveling the country and at baseball.
Have you had a vacation day to yourself?
No. From April until through yesterday and into this rest of this month, I ask any girl that I've gone with. I've spent maybe 30 hours a week. Doing something. And so I mean, if that's half-assing it, then it's half-assing it. There's no playbook. There's no I mean, there really isn't. There's no. I can seek the advice of counsel. I can and I have. I've asked friends of mine whose kids have played. I've asked coaches I know, but there's only so much you can do. I didn't want to. We made the decision. I made the decision. I don't want to play in this fall, even if that means getting him in front of other coaches. If there's a camp or a school that's interested in him and they'd like him to come down and showcase, that's fine. But I don't want to, take him to Clemson, not Clemson for the college, like a tournament in Clemson, because, he might get seen by University of Alabama, Birmingham, where he'd never go anyway. So I don't, and I don't want him throwing a baseball. His velocity is pretty good right now. I don't want him throwing a baseball into November. No, he's got 2 years of high school left. I don't want him blowing his arm out. No. And also he's a kid. I don't want him. I understand this is business and he's got to work out, and he works out at a facility that's far away from us, and he does all this. The facilities coach wants him to go to, all these things. It's all we're trying our hardest, but I'm just trying to explain to you that sometimes I don't know what's going on. You take an opportunity when it's given to you, but I'm not positive what's going on. So you're just
going to let him navigate it all on his own? Good job, Fred.
And he really does. If you know him, he's taking this bull by the horns, and he's doing everything.
He's got charts. He's got legal pads with all types of different notes.
Yeah, it looks like an episode of Hill Street Blues in his room. He's got things tacked over this huge cork board with string between them.
That's a good pull.
Absolutely. It's a whole thing. Well, he found the high school that he goes to and figured that all out. So he's motivated. It's just, at a certain point, you're just like, I don't know what's going on. He's on a team that plays all these big tournaments, and he goes to a school that is, got a very good program and all these things. But it's just it's a hard thing to navigate. Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Fred, just a little perspective. I'd say the best thing for Milo to do this fall would be to play like JV or third soccer, go out and have fun, no pressure sport, keeping that arm rested, and that way he's not pitching a full major league calendar. And I think that would be the best thing for him. Plus, it's it's developing other muscles as far as, with his legs and stuff. But anyway,
yeah, I agree. In the training, and to be fair, the training place he goes to said to take 3 months off from throwing after this month is over.
We've talked to multiple athletes during the show that have said, I didn't specialize in X until I was junior in high school or a senior in high school. Right. That's when I really got serious. I played 3 different sports in high school, but I was really good at this one. So my senior year is when I really focused on it.
Well, he played 3 different sports in high school. In the fall, he's just going to work out, but that's going to be a sport.
Does he want to play pickleball?
Ooh,
he can't blow out an Achilles playing. I mean, you can't mess with the engine like that. I can't put him in that kind of situation.
Which I would agree. I mean, it's like there's not a lot on the line, and I would suggest ultimate. But then to go out there and even let on just a tiny little bit that you're out there because the sport doesn't matter, that's an insult and it's wrong. And you don't want that. You don't want that gas.
From
the other ultimate players.
My main fear with ultimate is that he's going to fall in love with it, and that he's just not going to be good enough. And it's too late in the game.
You don't want to break his heart.
And it's too late in the game for him. He's going to have these kids who've been playing ultimate
right.
since they were 3.
Right.
And he's going to get out there at 17, and he's going to be fall in love with the game, but he's too behind. And he doesn't have the right agility for it,
You see those kids online all the time, binky in one hand, disc in the other. They start them early.
I mean, I did put a disc in the crib with him, but
yeah,
but he didn't pursue it, and that's my fault, and that will have to that will haunt me for my life. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, it's
you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplants Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happens, so change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, what's going on?
You know, it kind of all started last weekend. The Red Sox and Dodgers playing a 3-game set. Sox win 2 of 3, and you think, there's something going on here. Continued earlier last week when they took on the Twins in Minnesota. Once again, 2 of 3. Wondering when water might eventually find its level. Started a 3-game set against Houston on Friday. Sox get the 2-1 win in 10 innings. And back it up with a 7-3 win on Saturday. And then early yesterday morning, the Sox and Astros go at it.
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
The 3-game set.
I don't know. The only thing I could think of is Roku, which broadcasted this game, had a triple header or something like that. So the Red Sox were the first game, so maybe they started them early. I have no earthly idea why you would start a baseball game at 11:30 on a Sunday morning. No idea.
I just thought they did that. Have they ever done that outside of Marathon Monday before?
I can't think of a time.
Yeah, I can't either since I've been in town. This seemed very odd.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's cool, I guess. Like, if you're... When do bars start serving here on Sundays? In Atlanta, they didn't start serving till noon.
Yeah, what
so
do the blue laws say? When can they start serving?
Because in Atlanta, it was noon, so if the Braves were at 11:30 game, it would be no bueno for anyone. They would have been very upset.
And I guess you can figure it out if you're a position player or even a hitter. The pitchers don't love it. Lucas Giolito.
Ever since I was a kid, I would stay up super late, like reading, and then it turned into staying up super late playing video games, and I've just done that ever since. My excuse is I like to say that I prime myself for 7 p.m. being my locked-in hours, but obviously to make an adjustment for a day like today.
Do you believe the reading thing?
No. No, I do not.
No. I believe the video game thing.
Sure.
I don't believe the reading. I don't think it goes from reading to video games. That doesn't seem like an evolution.
Yeah, I stayed up late for school. I wanted to finish my required reading.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like a de-evolution.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get back to him in a moment. What would the Red Sox do at the plate, though? With Houston up 1-0. Trevor Story said.
Base hit into right field. Anthony into third. They're going to wave him in. Sanchez firing home and not going to get him. And down to second goes Story on the throw to the plate.
There we go. A little small ball there to get things going. Is it not small enough for you? How about this one?
Showing the bunt. And it gets underneath the pitcher. The run will score. And everybody's safe. The Red Sox grab another run to make it 4-1.
All right, so they jump out to the 4-1 lead. As for Lucas Giolito, who does not like pitching in the morning.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. Giolito, a great day on the mound as he goes 8 full. And the Red Sox have a 6-1 lead.
And that would be your final, 6-1 with Lucas Giolito, not a morning guy. Manages to go 8 innings in the win for the Red Sox. They complete the sweep of Houston and are now, 5 games over 500, Johnny?
They're 11 games over.
Excuse me, 11 games over 500, but 5.
They've won 5 straight. They're 11 games over 500. This is the most they've been over 500 in 3 years. They're 21-5 in their last 26 home games.
Securely in that wild card spot.
A game and a half up on the Yankees for the top wild card spot, and only 3 games out of first place.
The Yankees suck.
Did you see what happened to Jazz Chisholm over the weekend?
Yes.
Jazz Chisholm, Hardy, in case you missed it, he's at first base. Guy hits a pop up to second, and somehow Chisholm gets picked off first. I don't know how you do that. That's a very Red Soxian thing to do.
I was going to say, that's a dumb thing that the Red Sox...
Yeah.
And then he didn't back down. He was like, I did the right thing.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
He wouldn't, go, I screwed up. He was just like, no, I'm the best. That was great.
Yankees tried to score a guy from second on a single to left. The runner was out by so much, he just didn't slide. He just kept running into foul territory after getting tagged out 10 feet from home plate.
Yeah.
This is what the Yankees have been doing recently.
Well, everyone wants Boone fired. Every Yankee fan wants Boone fired.
Yeah. They're dropping.
They don't have any pitching. They don't have any starting pitching.
It's amazing. They led the Red Sox at one point by 10 games in the middle of June, and now they're behind the Sox by a game and a half in the first few days of August.
Yeah.
That's really tough to do.
It is, and it's because they're not good. They're not a good team.
Judge is still out. I mean, this is really something.
Yeah.
As far
Toronto, I mean, if Toronto gives up that lead in the AL East, woof. But who knows? I mean, if
they're 3 games out, and despite Red Sox ownership, their best attempts to sabotage this team by not replacing Devers in the lineup and not doing anything at the deadline, these guys are playing their asses off, all of them. This is a credit to them and the manager.
They're playing well, but they're not making as many mistakes. And it's, they're playing, good defense. They're getting enough offense. And even Cora said it's not like they're doing anything crazy.
All the things that you work in spring training, showed up today. And obviously, I love when they hit homers and all of that. But that it tells me that we're in a good place right now.
It's just the fundamentals, the simple stuff, and not giving away bases, giving away runs, making stupid errors, making dumb mistakes on the base paths when you're on offense. So for the Red Sox, I don't know what it ultimately comes to. I'd like to think that this is, the tiny precursor of what they can keep going for the rest of the season. But after a week's worth of games, starting with the series win over the Dodgers and then the Twins, and then you sweep Houston. Okay, that's enough of a sample to say it's not a fluke. They're playing well.
No, they're playing well. I don't know if I've ever seen a Red Sox team like this offensively. I mean, anybody can hit anywhere. The only constant is Bregman hitting second. Abraham Toro hit 7th last night. He's hit 9th. He hit 3rd for about 4 weeks. Rob Refsnyder could be your leadoff hitter or your cleanup hitter. Romy Gonzalez was a leadoff hitter a few games ago. He was the cleanup hitter yesterday. Jarren Duran led off for half the season. He could hit 3rd. He hit 7th in this series and didn't play at all yesterday. I don't know what's going on here.
It's like baseball's version of the NBA. It's not positionless. It's orderless. Orderless baseball.
It really is.
And just go out there. Whoever gets here first gets to lead off.
This team doesn't have a cleanup hitter. They have one guy who plays the same place in the same
line. Who's cleanup? It doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't. Cora said after the game, we like the matchup better, so Refsnyder led off. He could hit cleanup tomorrow. What? I've never heard of this. I've never seen anything like this from a Red Sox team. It's phenomenal. It's just amazing that they're doing.
Well, you were
doing.
tickled.
I am.
Wow.
I'm following this team a long time. Never seen anything like it.
No, that was almost not Buster Only. That was almost not Ken Rosenthal.
Tim Kirchin.
That was almost Tim Kirchin.
This team is amazing.
Yeah. You were like in great personal satisfaction. Yeah. But they 3 games away from having the best. The Tigers and the Blue Jays.
So it's
65 wins.
Almost like a day off, even though they play tonight because they got done so early yesterday. They will start a new 3-game set. Homestand continues against the Royals. Brian Bayo to the mound tonight.
Oh, one other small piece of news. That pitching prospect that the Red Sox wouldn't trade at the deadline, their top guy, just got promoted to Worcester last night. So he very well could wind up being in the bullpen by September.
What happens with his major league, in terms of his control if they bring him up?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, because then I wouldn't.
No, I agree. You want to keep control that extra year.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I don't have an answer to that, but that was the narrative last night.
Okay.
The kid's name is Peyton Tolley. He's 6'6", 250 pounds. He's a lefty, and he apparently dominated Portland. So they called him up. He's going to be with the team tomorrow.
All right.
To AAA Worcester tomorrow.
Keep your eye on that. Could get some pitching help. Even though they got May, so I don't know why they would need anyone. I mean, they made that trade.
Meanwhile, and I apologize for only leaving a minute, 20 seconds to talk about this here. Cameron Young got his first PGA Tour win yesterday at the Wyndham Championship. He is the 1,000th player, different player, to win a recognized PGA Tour event. This dates all the way back to the 1860 British Open, which was somehow recognized, maybe in hindsight.
They were playing during the Civil War because they didn't care about segregation.
Well, in the UK they played.
Yeah, the UK should have been, helping out the North.
6-stroke win for Cameron Young, 22 under par, and $1.5 million in the bank for him for that win. So congratulations to Cameron Young. We all knew you could do it, kid.
Did you watch that tournament?
No, I was playing it. I was playing in a tournament myself this weekend.
Oh, did you? Who were your guests on the Sports Hub Golf Show?
It was an encore presentation of Mihal Chamberlain from Bank of America talking about Youth on Course, which is a wonderful program, Fred, for a very, very small fee. Kids have access to over 30 different golf courses.
You've explained this before.
For like $5. It's just a great way for kids to get out there and play on the cheap. So he was the one guest, and the rest of it was just a whole lot of Hardy talking about golf. Yesterday on the
so
show.
you have an interview like the guy from Bank of America. You got to repurpose it.
Yeah, it's not evergreen, but it's good enough to play twice in a season. Sure,
absolutely. And maybe you knock it in a third time.
No. We have 4 weeks left.
Oh, have you reached out to Matty Siegel?
No.
Well, he called me yesterday.
Oh,
yeah.
To talk about what?
He's got the bug. He wants to, start doing stuff. So, he's talking about that. He's got the bug. He's got the bug. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox won their 5th in a row. They swept Houston at Fenway Park yesterday 6-1. Lucas Giolito allowed 1 run and 3 hits in 8 innings for the win. Sox lead the Yankees by a game and a half at the top wild card in the American League. They'll face Kansas City at Fenway Park tonight. And Patriots news, they'll be back on the practice field at 10:15 this morning behind Gillette Stadium as training camp continues. A joint practice with the Washington Commanders is on Wednesday morning. And amid reports he's purchased the WNBA's Connecticut Sun and is planning to move them to Boston. Former Celtics co-owner Steve Pagliuca released a statement last night that said he has an offer on the table for the franchise but won't complete it until he gets WNBA approval to do so. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the McGovern Automotive Group. McGovern and 98.5 The Sports Hub are giving away a brand new Ford F-150. For more info on how to enter, follow 98.5 The Sports Hub and McGovern Auto Group on Instagram. Complete rules and details at 98.5thesportshub.com. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Come.
our Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what else is going on?
Luka Doncic agreeing to a 3-year, $165 million max contract extension with the Lakers. He's got a player option in 2028, so this will keep him out of free agency next summer. And Lakers announced they had signed him to the extension, but didn't disclose the terms. Terms got out anyway. Luka said, this is just the beginning. I'm excited for what's ahead and keep building something special with this team.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with LeBron and all this, since they have so decidedly moved into Doncic being the star of this team.
Good for the Lakers, by the way, because the last couple of years they sold their soul to that guy. And I understand he's one of the 2 best players ever, but the Lakers, you have to move on. You gotta take back control of your franchise. Say, okay, we traded for this guy. This is the direction we're going. And I would bet LeBron leaves. I would bet if he wants to play next season, it won't be with the Lakers. It'll be somewhere else.
Is he not signed with the Lakers?
I think he's good for this year, if I remember right.
Oh, okay. So
he's
you think he'll play next season for the Lakers, but not the following season?
I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. Yes, okay. If he wants to play another year after this one coming, he'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, and I would be interested in who would want him, because it seems to me like it would be someone like New Orleans. You know, like someone that a franchise that just would pay him just to play. If that doesn't make sense, but what I'm saying is pay him just to wear the uniform, basically. That you're not trying to win anything. You're just going like, I can make my organization relevant. Go ahead.
The great rumor over the summer was that he'd go to Dallas to rejoin Kyrie and play with Anthony Davis again. That's the rumor. Now,
really stunt Cooper Flagg's development.
Yeah, that was the rumor. I don't see that happening, but it makes, on paper, you can see why.
So, I'm not a big conspiracy guy at all, but there is something to be said about Dallas getting that Cooper Flagg pick, because they did this. I saw something where like teams that had traded superstars have gotten like the number 1 overall pick in a draft where there was like a game-changing player. Anthony Davis, the kid from Duke, the fat kid from Duke, who New Orleans drafted.
Zion Williamson.
Zion Williamson, Cooper Flagg. Like these teams that have traded a superstar have won the lottery in a year where there was a would-be game franchise-changing number 1 overall pick, and the odds against Dallas getting that pick, it is odd that it keeps happening.
Almost, and
yeah,
they still got him.
I can find the statistic, but it is like I know it's Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson, and like 2 other guys with Cooper Flagg are all number 1 overall picks, and these were franchise altering. This isn't like Cade Cunningham or something. This is,
right.
A real, like, supposed to be generational talent going number 1 overall. It is interesting, and oftentimes New Orleans was the beneficiary of it.
The one thing I don't understand with the Lakers deal, or don't agree with, I guess, is that I heard someone say, for Luka to sign this deal and to make such a big splash and have it to be such news, it just shows you, as the NFL has quote unquote started, the NFL season is upon us, and normally all the attention would be going their way. The Lakers get themselves right up to the top of the headlines in the sports world, and it shows why they're really worth the $10 billion that people are going for. It's like, man, take a look around. There's nothing else going on right now. Even football fans know that football has not started yet. The Hall of Fame game doesn't count. Did you see who was playing in that game?
Trey Lance was your starting quarterback for the Chargers.
Yeah, Trey Lance played like 3 quarters.
But this, I mean, no. The reason why it's a big deal is because Luka made a splash when he came back to town and looked like he had taken his off-season conditioning seriously. And there's nothing else going on. Yes, it's the Lakers, but the fact that they topped the headlines with this signing, doesn't prove that they're worth $10 billion. I can't wrap my head around, why that team is worth that much. Yes, people know them. How does that translate into dollars in the pocket for the owner? And if you can explain it to me, I'm more than willing to listen. I just don't understand how that team is still worth $10 billion. And the fact that Luka's signing a contract, being at the top of the headlines, proves it? No, that doesn't prove it.
No, Luka Doncic, and first of all, top of the headlines, big deal.
Right.
Yeah, what the hell else is going on?
Nothing. No.
You know who I saw at a CVS over the weekend? Your friend Jayson Tatum.
Really?
Yeah. He was out there. He was just like a regular guy.
Shopping for some chewing gum? What
Stars.
was he doing?
They're just like us.
Yeah. Did I look at what he was buying? No.
Okay.
I didn't, but I saw him. He's a large individual.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I just went, John Wallach, and he just gave me a knowing nod and a wink. And he's like, yeah. It's like the kid should have the job.
Yeah.
And I said, between you, me, and the wall, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we went out and we high-fived. And we said, Wallach.
Wow.
That was the first thing out of his mouth.
Thank you.
Yeah. He's like, I thought Grandy was retiring or going somewhere else. Is what
That guy on the morning show.
Yeah, we had a conversation about that. He's like, can you please start crying? And I'm like, oh, it's weird.
Look around and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he did. So he was in there. He was tall and buying things. But I let him.
I love you. And I think you know that.
At being a fellow celebrity, I understood this is his time. He doesn't need me gushing all over him, as is my want.
It's like a radio guy.
It's me, I would normally be like so starstruck. But I thought, So I've seen Jayson Tatum twice in this specific area. Not once at the CVS and once I was taking my daughter to the dentist and he was in a parking lot adjacent to the dentist office. Where was he going? It's anyone's guess. We tailed him for a while, but I couldn't really figure it out. Was he going to finagle a bagel? I don't know.
But you didn't block his car and ask him where he was going?
I blocked his car. I didn't ask him where he was going.
Just to take a bunch of pictures.
Yeah, I blocked his car, tried to get some TMZ photos. But he was by himself, so no one really cared. So I couldn't sell
Thank
him.
you.
But I am selling that J.G. McCarthy card at Fred T. Sales on eBay.
How are the bids?
I think I didn't overvalue it on eBay, but I don't think it's going to go for as much as we discussed. I think that if it goes for a fair price, it will go between $6,000 and $7,000.
Oh, all right.
Which is not bad for pulling it out of a $200 box, but I'll take it. But the original comps were like ridiculously large, but now I'm thinking it's going to go between six. If it goes for fair value, it go between 6 and 7. Now my son's friend said maybe go get it graded, and I said, all right, I want to get rid of this thing. I don't want to. I got to send it to PSA and go through all that. Go to PSA.
If it's brand new, why do you? I don't understand. I don't understand it.
You go to PSA and you get it graded. You get it, and then they'll put a grade on it. And if it's graded and it's like a 9 or a 10, then that will increase its value.
Are there different grades between brand new cards?
Oh boy. Jeez.
Is it how it's how it's cut? Like if the borders are perfect?
Yeah.
I know.
Some of it is not user error. Some of it's not mishandling. It's
Yeah.
And even sometimes it'll be a scratch just when you take it out of the pack, or there'll be a flawed edge.
Oh, God.
But yeah, the cutting is where it gets unfair, is because the centering of the card, that's just a manufacturer. Come on, that's just not. I've seen people get really mad and say that's just the cards. What do you call it? That's when you're like I don't know what it is. Occupational inadequacies or something like that. But yes, there's many ways to cook that duck. Believe me. But the thing is, if you get a grade, it comes back in 8. You got to take it out of the thing. You just take it out of the thing and you just say it wasn't graded. Is what I've been told.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you get a grade that you don't like, you can just take it out and.
Okay.
Plus, they grade the autograph too.
Jeez.
Huh.
You know how sweet an autograph it is. But if you ever want to see how difficult something can be, go watch how to get something at PSA graded. Oh boy, It seems like a huge pain in the ass. You need cardboard, and they got to be in these certain kind of holders, and it's got to be in the right order. And then it's like, I'm paying you, and you're making it this difficult for me. I'm not sending that stuff in. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Miss Jordan Hudson was back at it. She received a very unfair barb and responded in kind. We will have that for you in just a moment.
Boston sports fan, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Beasley Media Group Station.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox made it 5 straight wins yesterday after a 3-game weekend sweep of Houston 6-1 at Fenway Park. The Sox scored all 6 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Alex Cora's team did it against a very good lefty in Framber Valdez.
Put pressure on him. It started with ref, the first at bat. I think it was 9 pitches, fouled off a few. He had 20 pitches after the first or something like that. Trevor did a good job going the other way. It started with a kid too, double off the wall. And the first time in a while that Willie's playing against lefties, so we saw a window there, to put the safety squeeze in that situation. Just kept rolling.
Lucas Giolito allowed 1 run in 8 strong innings of work to pick up the victory. Sox now lead the Yankees by a game and a half at the top wild card in the American League. Brian Bayo starts against Kansas City at Fenway tonight. Patriots had the weekend off. They continued training camp this morning with a public practice at 10:15 in Foxborough. There's also a game for the team coming up Friday night against the Commanders on Friday. As I said, on Friday night, a joint practice between the two teams will take place on Wednesday morning. Last night, the NFL Players Union elected David White as their interim president. He is the former leader of the Actors Union and current board chair of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. And amid reports he's purchased the WNBA's Connecticut Sun and is planning to move them up to Boston. Former Celtics co-owner Steve Pagliuca released a statement last night which indicated that while an offer has been made, the deal is not done and won't be without league approval. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the new burgers at the 99, like the new Bourbon Onion Burger. Their half-pound 100% American Angus beef is sure to please. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today. Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallach?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
Bill Belichick coaching them, and as you know by now, Jordan Hudson is 49 years younger than Bill Belichick. And they're dating. They've been all over Nantucket together. There are signs up at Nantucket bars saying you have to be older than Jordan Hudson to enter. As Bill Belichick's old girlfriend, Linda Holliday, is apparently very, very influential in the Nantucket social scene. I told you I know a guy who was at a Stop and Shop where the two of them were, and she had Jackie O sunglasses on. Mm-hmm. And so when you are trying to become famous as she participates in these Miss Maine contests. She came in 3rd. She spent some time at Bridgewater State University. She did not graduate. But Bill Belichick, they bonded over her love of philosophy and so on and so forth. And what's she, 24? She's 24. So, if you want to get famous for dating a guy that's old and gross, because, again, if you're dating like some Moroccan art dealer who's a silver fox and, taking you around the world and introducing you to kings and queens, that is a little bit different than dating an old, gross, man-boobed old man that has a personality that is just awful and off-putting. So if you're trying to get famous dating an old guy and you want everything good from dating the old guy, including fame, because you want to become like an influencer. I mean, you do. You're putting all this stuff up on Instagram. You want to be famous. You're interrupting video interviews. You're trying to play like you're a PR person. Why would you assume that anyone would joke about you? I mean, that's over the line. So there's a woman named Mary Kay Cabot. She is a longtime sports writer. I would imagine that she's somewhat of a trailblazer, because I would imagine that when she was first covering football, it wasn't something that, a lot of women were doing. So she is being honored going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, she is a woman who, had a job and worked a job and got respected at the job. And here she is being given the highest honor of the job, going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, a woman who has worked that hard and gone over all that stuff, who's she to even crack wise about a 24-year-old who's dating an old gross guy trying to get famous that way. So I would imagine that she doesn't have a lot of, respect for Jordan Hudson and what she's doing. I mean, it doesn't mean she's against it. She probably just doesn't have a lot of respect for her. So she was doing her Hall of Fame speech, and like one of these crazy public speakers, she tried to, be entertaining, which is over the line, if you ask me. When you're accepting an award, you got to be dry. You got to be like Bill Belichick, nasty and dry and awful and dumb.
I'm not talking about this.
Yeah, you got to be dumb is what you got to be. And so she was not that way. So here she is talking in her acceptance speech.
Bill Belichick was the first Browns coach I ever covered. You see, if you start out with Bill Belichick, no one can rattle you after that. If Bill didn't like something I wrote, he'd call and yell at me. If you asked a dumb question, he'd call you out. Eventually, I had to learn to stand up to him. During one of those yelling matches, I told him, if you don't have the footballs to say that to the guys, then don't say it to me. Bam.
All right, not a great joke there. So she's just getting warmed up.
Mm-hmm. What?
She tells a bit of a dud.
No, she didn't say, you don't get the joke. Instead of saying, if you don't have the balls to say that to a guy, but she said footballs because they're at the Football Hall of Fame thing. Now do you get it?
I don't know. It's like Carlin. I don't. It's. There's too much there.
It's like Dennis Miller. I'm like, what? I
Yeah,
understand.
You got to let it sit for a while and go back to it.
I don't understand.
Hey, Kierkegaard. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying.
Kierkegaard. Adolfo has said the name Kierkegaard maybe 5,000 times on the radio.
Still doesn't know who Kierkegaard is.
I read the first page.
Okay.
But now, I totally understand why Bill gave me such a hard time. I was 28 at the time, and he just couldn't relate to a woman that old.
And that's a good joke. And so that is a good joke. Bill was a total dick to her, and we've come to find out why, because he's an idiot, and he can't handle personal relationships or anything else. He's got to lash out because his own stupidity is such an albatross for him that he can't communicate in a way and smooth things over and develop relationships. He's got to get very nasty right away because he can't put together the words in order to get his point across without being that way.
It's impossible.
So in comes Joe Yan, Finney_N on Twitter. You all know him or her. It's the avatar is a picture from the old days. It looks like it was taken in about the 1800s. So here comes Joe Yan, FINI_EN. So someone posts that video of her making that joke. And Joe Yan says, not much of a quote, laugh. So in comes the white knight. White knighting for the 24-year-old girl over the woman accepting the Pro Football Hall of Fame honor for the work that she did. Because that's the loser of the two women, right? That's the ghetto trash. I mean, what has this woman ever done?
Right.
I mean, she could have just been banging coaches when she was in her 20s. She was actually working for the Cleveland Plain dealer and creating a career for herself. I mean, she could have just... Marv Levy was around. She could have just started banging Marv Levy, who turned 100 yesterday. He says, not much of a laugh, which I like that he got on Twitter to do this. He got on Twitter. He's like, I got something to say. Not much of a laugh. No wonder so many have contempt for the media, especially those who want to be the story rather than report on the story. Well, here's the thing, Joe Yan. She was not reporting on a story, dickhead. She was accepting an award for her. This was an award for her, where she was telling her story, you moron, you idiot. So anyone would read that and they'd go, no one would read it. Who's reading that? Who reads this? So someone's going to sift through a tweet of this woman accepting an award for her career that she built for herself, and they're gonna comment on it. Fine, it's a maniac. He's a loser. But who looks? Miss Jordan Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
So Jordan Hudson sees this, and she sees that a joke has been made at her boyfriend's expense, or perhaps her fiance's expense, and she retweets it. Because she gets immediately that this is why people have contempt for the media. When they're accepting inductees, their induction into the Hall of Fame, they crack a joke about someone they covered. You understand? That's why people, right there is why people have contempt for the media. So she not only retweets things because she's thin-skinned, she wants to be famous on Instagram and wants to be this influencer and wants to be this person for banging an old guy. But yet when someone who built a career covering that man makes a joke about it, and not even about her, about him, she doesn't like that. That she doesn't want. She wants everyone to be nice, no one to be mean, which is the way that it goes, right? I'm sure the Kardashians get no backlash. Like, I'm sure they sift through every comment and look for someone who says something negative about them.
They're a lot better at this than she is. Yeah.
What? Oh, yeah, you think? Yeah, well, I think they're kind of since they're all billionaires, yes, I would imagine that they're kind of what people are going after. A lot. This happens to a lot of these people. They'll an influencer will put something up that gets a bunch of backlash, and then they'll flip out and panic. And it's like, yeah, what do you think? This is going to last forever, stupid? So she wants to be, what does she want everyone to go? This is so great. This is so great. Yeah. It looks so good. It looks great. He's old and gross. And you're letting him in you, but we would think. And this is supposed to be you're a hero? That's why people mistrust the media. Exactly. That's why they stormed the Capitol, is because when people were accepting inductions in the Hall of Fames, they made jokes about the people they were covering. It is why. I mean, this is just it's symbolic of the stresses our country are under.
Somebody wrote in the after Jordan had retweeted the person, it said, "Not much of a laugh. No wonder so many have contempt for the media." Somebody wrote, "Retweeting a tweet that you wrote on a burner account is wild stuff, Jordan."
Yeah, and I've told you, I've gotten comments on Instagram that I'm fairly confident are at least in someone in her orbit. It's stuff like, all right, you really don't care that much about this. I don't believe there's anyone out there that's you know what, these kids are having a good time. Just leave them alone. No. He's famous. She wants to profit off of his fame. When that happens, you're open to scrutiny from the media. It's gross. It's objectively gross. He's disgusting. He's a gross dickhead. And if he was funny or charming or there was any quality about him other than his money that was appealing and that anyone could see, you would go, oh, all right, I get it. And then you'd make a joke or two. But, what's unfair is Lyle Lovett, who's kind of the same age as Julia Roberts, and they're just you're disgusting. You're ugly. Now, that could probably get on you big ugly. But because they're kind of the same age. When one guy is 74 and the girl is 24, or whatever the hell the difference is, 73 and 24, it must be 73 and 24 because it's 49 years. Which, again, if it was me, good to know that someone out there is one right now, and that when they turn 24, I'll be dating them. So just hang tight. I got 23 years until I meet the one.
Yeah.
Again, if this was Mick Jagger, or if David Bowie was still alive, if this was George Clooney, you would be like, all right, I get it.
It's everywhere. I saw a picture over the weekend on social media of Bill Parcells in a Patriots windbreaker talking to Bill Belichick in a Browns windbreaker. And the caption was, "So what are you doing, Bill?" Bill said, "Waiting for my future girlfriend to be born."
Yeah. Or, what he's doing is he's banging the secretary of the Giants and then giving her a $2 million brownstone in Brooklyn.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there is a findom is the woman, and then the pig. What is the term for the guy? It's something pig.
Yes.
Yeah, you got me stumped. Give me a moment.
Findom is
Purse
the woman.
pig.
Huh?
Wow, that's pretty good.
Just alliterative. I don't know if it makes much sense. But
Well,
I
mean,
it.
I would run with it.
Yeah, that's
Pay
pretty
pig.
good.
Pay pig.
Much better.
So I was having dinner with these guys the other night, and it was the guy who saw the two of them at the place, and he goes, he's a pay pig. The guy says it like that. He's just like, he's a pay pig, and I'm like, huh? I'm like, what? You mean like the findom thing? He goes, yeah, dude, but the girl's the findom, the guy's the pay pig.
Oh.
And I went, oh,
okay.
So there's so much going on that I don't know if we're in on. Like the guy said, it was such knowledge, and it wasn't even about Belichick. He's like, you don't know about pay pigs? I'm like, no, not really. I didn't know that was the term. I've just learned about findom. This is what the findom is: the woman who takes advantage of the pay pig. The pay pig is the pig that gives the money up. Like, hey, call me a pig. I want you to just take all my money.
If you go to findomsonly.com, they have a comprehensive description of what a pay pig is.
They advertise on the One Network during the Cosby Show.
Being a pay pig involves handing over financial control to another person and often receiving insults or tasks to complete.
Yeah.
For example, pay pig could be told to film themselves doing 100 push-ups. If they fail to complete the task or perform poorly, they will be expected to hand over more cash to the dominant person. The pay pig will often feel sexual arousal from this fear of failure and provocation.
There used to not be websites for this. You had to go and beat the pavement. You had to go find a young lady to take your money away from you. Old-fashioned style. You couldn't just go to some website and just wire money to them. You used to have to go to the bank and pick up cash and hand them it in person, like a real tactile, non-computer simulated relationship. But this is going on, and apparently it's not very uncommon. Pay pig, findom. So now everyone has been educated. The man or the woman that is being dominated is the pay pig. The person, man or woman, that's doing the financial dominating. Now, listen, I don't mean to put in gender roles, but I'm imagining most, what did you say, 98% of findoms are female, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
And if it's anything, it's because it's this wage gap between the sexes.
The overwhelming majority.
You would have to assume, Adam.
Yes.
Yeah.
You would have to assume. Now, if you are a gigolo and you would like to call in, a gigolo, but that by some miracles not turning gay tricks, that you're actually having sex with women for money.
And who was awake at 7:21 in the morning.
But
just getting home.
Well, listen, Richard Gere, if you watched American Gigolo, which spawned the 80s, according to Bret Easton Ellis, the whole style and everything of the 80s was begot by the, if that's the correct term, here I go again with the thesaurus, we're using it wrong, that American Gigolo set the tone for the 80s. He'd be driving down PCH right now.
It's in the zeitgeist. Yep.
Thank you, Jonathan. And I'm glad that I taught you something.
Mm-hmm.
In all these years, you've learned a word.
I'm learning all kinds of things on findomsonly.com. This might require further exploration.
Oh,
I'm up to be educated on any of this.
Do tell.
Yeah. Tell me all about it.
Do you know what a wallet drain is?
No, but I know what being on the business end of a drain is. I know how to manipulate plumbing so the drain falls to my face.
We got an open segment. We might have to come back to this.
I don't know if we do not have an open.
No,
we do.
Might have to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, we are aware the Red Sox are playing well, and we will tackle that with our esteemed guest coming right up.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports.
Hall of Fame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Ever since I was a kid, I would stay up super late, like reading, and then it turned into staying up super late playing video games, and I've just done that ever since. My excuse is I like to say that I prime myself for 7 p.m. being my locked-in hours, but obviously you have to make an adjustment for a day like today.
I reminisce. Yeah. I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say think back 22 years ago to keep it on track. The birth of a child on the 8th of October.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Bill Koch covers the Red Sox, college hoops, and more for the Providence Journal. But we are going to be talking about the Red Sox today. They swept Houston after the trade deadline. A lot of people were disappointed with the trade deadline, and I would imagine rightly so. I would imagine Bill Koch would agree with that, but I don't know. But here they are, 3 games out of first place in the AL East. That looked to be insurmountable at one point, and now it's not. They're solidly in the wild card. And if you look around the AL, I mean, they just swept Houston. I know Seattle got better, but Seattle's not guaranteed anything. People really don't respect the Tigers because I guess they slumped a little bit, of late, but we'll see. You ain't winning game 1 against the Tigers. I got news for you. Yeah. But here is Bill. Bill, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
We are doing well. So where are you with the Red Sox right now? Where do you stand? Where do you think they are? What are your expectations as of today?
Well, my expectations are always that they should contend and be a playoff team. I mean, the field is so expanded compared to what it used to be when you had 1 or 2 division winners and maybe 1 extra wild card getting in. And they're still, even though they're not spending to their maximum, they're still one of the highest payroll teams in the sport. So I think that they should play in October every year. That's just my thought. And right now, if the season ended today, we would see them playing postseason baseball.
Okay. Now, what about where do you think they stand in the American League? Do you think the American League's wide open, or do you think there's a dominant team? How do you read their place in the American League once the playoff starts?
Well, you mentioned Detroit. Obviously, they're playing very well. Houston, even though Boston just swept them, Houston is a good team. When you have 2 guys out front, your rotation like Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez, you're pretty good. The lineup is excellent. And certainly the Yankees have stumbled here, run into some trouble, but there's still a problem, still talent in that clubhouse. Seattle, you mentioned, I don't think anyone got I don't think anyone did more to strengthen their team at the deadline than Seattle did, adding the hitters that they did to the pitching that they already had. But I certainly think that as the AL sits right now, that Boston will be a playoff team. They're basically contending with the Yankees, the Mariners, and the Rangers. 2 of those teams will get spots. 1 of them will be left out. That's the wild card race, and I think Boston has enough to get there.
Do you believe, Fred was just talking about pitching, do you believe in Lucas Giolito and Brian Bale? Because one of those 2 guys is going to have to start a game 2 for you.
That was probably the most disappointing thing about the trade deadline is the gap between Garrett Crochet and whoever would start second in a series is still too large for me. Even if you'd gotten Merrill Kelly and it cost the Rangers 3 top 13 prospects to get Merrill Kelly, who's going to be a rental. But even if you got him, you would have bridged that gap a little bit. I don't know if this is the real Lucas Giolito or the real Brian Bayo. I have no idea. Their past performances, both in Boston and elsewhere, would tell you that they're somewhere in between what they're showing recently and what they showed earlier in the season or last season or in previous years. So I don't know. How do you guys feel if you see Crochet wins game 1, or even better, Crochet loses game 1, and you have to put Lucas Giolito out there in game 2? I know that my confidence level would have been a lot higher if I had Joe Ryan or if I had had even someone like Merrill Kelly, who pitched very well in the postseason recently.
If it's a morning game, I feel pretty good about it.
Right, exactly. Despite his love of reading, he got up and did that. But let's talk about Joe Ryan, because this whole story is pretty interesting. Right, if you had Joe Ryan, you've got as good 1-2 as anyone. I mean, then you're in conversation of who's going to beat you. I mean, no one's better. I mean, someone might be the same, but no one's better. So Joe Ryan thought he was getting traded. It came out on social media he was getting traded. Now there are people that cover the team that are going, the Red Sox were willing to go all in on him, but they didn't want to give up an everyday player. What are you hearing about how close it was? How much of this crap do you believe in terms of the offers and the validity of those? What is your take on it?
Well, the Red Sox are saying that we were uncomfortably aggressive, I think was Craig Breslow's term. And the Twins are obviously leaking to Ken Rosenthal that, Boston wasn't anywhere close. And that, whatever they offered for Joe Ryan wasn't enough to get it done. Now, he and that group of pitchers are among the most valuable commodities in baseball. The controllable starter, someone who is cheap, someone who hasn't hit free agency yet, but who is an elite arm. And none of those guys moved, to be fair. Nobody else got a deal done for a controllable starter. So it wasn't just the Red Sox who fell short trying to get a pitcher with term left. But, in terms of what they offered, Craig Breslow basically said that they didn't offer a major league player for him. So Jarren Duran, whatever final proposal they made, probably wasn't part of those discussions. Certainly Roman Anthony wouldn't have been part of those discussions. Wilyer Abreu might not have been part of those discussions. You would assume that the Red Sox would deal from the outfield because that is their position of strength. And I get the sense that they weren't going to go there, that they were offering minor leaguers, prospects for Joe Ryan, and the Twins wanted more.
Okay. If so, say the Red Sox were like, you're not giving up Anthony or that's ridiculous. I wouldn't do that. Give up an everyday kid that could be a star for a pitcher. I wouldn't do that in general. That's already in the major leagues. But say they were like, okay, because this is what some people are saying, is that they were like, they went nuts with prospects. They were just like, take them. And then they were like, well, we also want Duran. Why would that be the stumbling block? Like, if you were willing to, purge your minor league system, why would be your fourth outfielder be the difference between getting that deal done?
Duran isn't
Hang
even
on
an
real
everyday
quick.
player.
You're so much better with Ryan than you are with Duran. No one would argue that. I'm sure you wouldn't argue that. Why would that be the stumbling block for you? I don't believe that. I can't believe that.
That's a great question. And certainly if let's say the Twins were to ask for Duran, Peyton Tolle, who's your top prospect, who according to reports is going to be promoted to Worcester here, and maybe more like the password, who is on fire in Worcester right now and hitting home runs left and right. For me, if I felt like I could get an extension done with Joe Ryan and I felt like he had said maybe to some of my guys at the All-Star game, hey, I want to come to Boston, and yes, I'd want to be there long term, you'd have him and Garrett Crochet locked up for an extended period. You'd have Anthony here for an extended period. Wilyer Abreu still not making much money. Ceddanne Rafaela already locked in. Your infield mix, you could sprinkle certain guys there, maybe try to get an extension done with Bregman, maybe see how the rest fill in. I certainly think that you're in the window right now, and that if you were to bring in Ryan, you're at a point where you could win a World Series or at least get there this season.
Yeah, that just struck me as odd that you would go, we're all in on this kid. Obviously, the Twins are going to be like, this is a controllable asset that is worth a ton. You go, here's my minor league system. Take who you want. But by the way, you can't have our fourth outfielder, who's 29. That doesn't make any sense to me.
And doesn't play a lot against lefties.
And I heard this like as being like a valid argument against it, which I is ridiculous to me. That's the move you make.
The other thing that might have happened here is the Twins sold, basically traded 8 or 9 guys off the Major League roster. They're going to have a change in ownership there. So you're wondering what their salary structure is going to be. If they wanted to strip down payroll to get to the point where new ownership would come in and there wouldn't be any big contracts there, I think that was a big part of dealing Carlos Correa to the Astros. But maybe they took a step back and said, wait a minute, we're working on these 5 or 6 other deals. Joe Ryan's our primary asset. We don't need to trade him right now. We could let this get to the offseason. Everyone's going to know at this point that he was out there at least being discussed at the trade deadline with the Red Sox and who knows who else. That could be a deal that Boston revisits at the winter meetings, and it could certainly be something that the Twins could use as leverage against other teams as well to drive up the price.
Okay, and do you think that that's a deal better done in the offseason or better done at the trade deadline?
Well, for Boston, I think it would have been better at the trade deadline because you get, however many more starts out of the guy, 10 to 12 starts over these 60 games. And you might get the Twins at a point where you might be in one of the primary suitors. It might be you and 2 other teams. If you get to the winter meetings and teams have a chance to set their rosters and their budgets for next year, now it might be you and 5 other teams. So you might end up paying more next offseason. It might be – you might not trade a major league player, but you might need to trade 3 or 4 prospects like what they needed to give away to get Garrett Crochet out of Chicago.
Yeah, I wonder if the Red Sox were trying to tell themselves that they didn't need to do it at the trade deadline because, as they said, Bill, they really like their team. They like the roster. They like the way they were playing. But even if that were the case, there's no way they foresaw, winning series against the Dodgers and the Twins and then sweeping Houston, which is, what it's taking for some people to realize, okay, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world, but I can't give them credit for thinking that was going to happen.
No, I don't know if they saw that coming. Certainly not against Houston, who they've struggled with in the past,
or even taking the series from the Dodgers. I know the Dodgers hadn't been playing well up and for a stretch, but there's no way you would have reasonably expected that to happen.
No, but you've got some guys. We mentioned Giolito, obviously, who's pitching very well. He's got a .33 ERA in his last 4 starts at Fenway Park. Trevor Story looks like the guy, from like 2017, 2018 with the Rockies at this point. He's got an 886 OPS in his last 52 games, which is not something that we've seen from him in 3+ years in Boston. If he's going to hit like an all-star in the middle of the lineup with everything else that they have going on, this is a much more formidable team. And I think we've seen what they've done at Fenway this year compared to last year. Last year, they were 5 games under at Fenway. This year, they're 37-21. This is a true home field advantage again. And it hasn't felt like that in a few years, despite what we see in the crowds and the fact that, the Dodger fans basically took over.
Not exactly loud at Fenway for the home team anymore.
Yeah, when I was at that Dodgers game, that Sunday Dodgers game, and that was a Dodgers home game.
Yeah.
At least where I was sitting, very good seats, Jonathan.
Of course.
But, I'm not with the riffraff. But, I'm no Tony Maz in the owner's box, but I am there at the game. But, that was funny during the Dodgers series.
It's a much better constructed team to play at Fenway in recent years. You've got some right-handed hitting on this team finally. With Bregman obviously coming in, Story performing the way he has recently, and a lot of the platooning they've done, a lot of the mixing and matching that Alex Cora has done with right-handed hitters against left-handed pitching. Some of those guys have performed, whether it's Ref Snyder or Romy Gonzalez or even earlier in the year, Abraham Toro. So this team might be better constructed to play at Fenway Park than some of the previous recent versions, and I think the record bears that out.
All right. Well, look, great appearance, Bill. Bill Koch, read him in the Providence Journal. Thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Exciting times for the Red Sox.
Thanks, guys. Be well.
All right. Thank you. There you go. That was good. Bill Koch. I like him. All right. So we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox swept the Houston Astros yesterday at Fenway Park 6-1. Lucas Giolito, 8 strong innings for the win. Sox have won 5 in a row and 21 of their last 26 at home. They open up a 3-game series with Kansas City at Fenway Park tonight. Patriots gave their players the weekend off after their in-stadium scrimmage on Friday night. They're back at it at 10:15 this morning in another public practice in Foxborough. A joint practice with the Washington Commanders will take place on Wednesday. And amid reports he had purchased the WNBA's Connecticut Sun and wants to move them to Boston, former Celtics co-owner Steve Pagliuca released a statement last night that says, while an offer has been made to purchase the Connecticut Sun, no deal is done, and it won't be until he gets league approval to do so. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lopresti and Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, the hair doctor of Hardy, Rob Ninkovich, and Dave Portnoy. Call 1-800-GET-HAIR for your free consultation. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. You're next.
Sports Hub.
Hello, Freddie. Some say you're the funniest. I don't know. Smart people say you are. I believe you. I believe them. I don't know anything. But did you see who performed at the NASCAR baseball game? I'll give you one guess.
Okay, so who performed at the NASCAR baseball game on this weekend? There was at Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee, the Atlanta Braves.
There was a country guy and someone from the hip hop world.
Oh! I think I know. Was it Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah, I was going to say Machine Gun Kelly.
No.
Oh, so
no, it's Mr. Worldwide.
Oh, Pitbull. Oh, wow.
We need to find that, please.
Yeah, I got to hear Pitbull at the NASCAR thing. Yeah, Pitbull is and Esoteric agrees, the worst rapper ever to be. Now, Fieldy doesn't count from Fieldy's Dreams, which is the worst album ever put out by a major label.
I would say, first of all, about Esoteric saying that is much like you and Pat McAfee. He just doesn't get it.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. You know, if only he worked with someone with some credibility.
Right,
right.
right.
I mean, he's got, Inspector Deck was Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, no one likes them. But, yeah, Pitbull is, Pitbull's success is almost mind-boggling and fall of the Roman Empire kind of stuff. And the best thing is he gives, like, TED Talks on grinding and business. Yeah. I'm in my business.
Oh, man, it just got hot in here. Is it just me?
Yeah, it is just
pretty
you.
much.
Just you and a bunch of idiots. All right. So we were talking about how Jordan Hudson has lashed out against the woman that was from the Cleveland Plain dealer that covered her fiance while he was in Cleveland. She made a funny joke about she was 28 and it was too young for him because he was a dick to her, as it was his way. And I am convinced it's because he doesn't have the emotional or just plain intelligence, IQ, to have like a conversation with someone. So he has to make up for that by being like a dick. And I am really convinced of that because like Danny Ainge, I feel, is like a smart, confident guy. And that's why I was so impressed with him when we would talk to him, because he had that confidence to be candid and not talk down to you. I mean, he busts balls. He busts my balls all the time. But I liked it because I respected him. When people generally, and I know as one, talk down to people or just like, yell and scream all the time and do all that, it's to cover up their own inadequacies. I truly believe it. Like if Bill Belichick was at all intelligent, he wouldn't have handled his press conferences that way. There are gruff coaches that are like badass coaches in quotes that break and become personable. That is a sign of intelligence, at least emotional intelligence, that you have the ability to do that. He does not. So I had a friend who was in Nantucket, not a friend, an acquaintance who was in Nantucket, and he saw Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson at the Stop and Shop. She had Jackie O glasses on, and he goes, just like it was nothing. He was like, yeah, he's probably a findom. She's probably a findom. He'd pay pig. I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, findom, pay pig. And so you've done some research into it.
Yeah.
I'm learning more and more and more every day. Go ahead.
And you can just set this up on your own, but why not use a trusted source like findomsonly.com? Now, why would you go there?
Yeah.
It's the only site set up specifically to cater to those interested in the findom experience. It's a safe, secure environment where subs and doms can communicate and take part in games and other activities. And they also guarantee payment through their online payment
It's
center.
like eBay. I wonder what cut of the payment they take.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. Now, if you want to spin the wheel, they take no cut when you're playing Spin the Wheel.
Now, what is Spin the Wheel?
Glad you asked. It's one of the simplest games to understand, Fred. Each section of the wheel has an amount on it. The submissive person will buy access to the wheel, press a button, and the wheel will spin around. Spin starts off fast, gradually gets slower, and when the pointer stops, the sub has to pay the dom this amount or buy the girl a gift or complete a task, depending on what you've decided is going to be on the wheel.
So it's gambling where you lose every time.
If you are the pay pig, yes.
Yes, so it's a gambling. It's like going to Vegas and you just can't win.
This is correct.
Okay.
Now,
this appeals to people.
That's one game.
Sexually appeals to them.
The other game is the wallet drain game.
Ryan Seacrest, by the way, hosts that on NBC.
Now, Fred, they're willing to acquiesce. Most people hate the idea of someone taking their money. However, there are folks who gain sexual arousal or thrill from this exact experience. Jeez. So, if you're going to play the wallet drain game, the wallet drain is a slang term that refers to the findom completely emptying the pay pig, emptying their bank account, or taking the maximum amount of money that they can. It can be quick, or it can happen in a matter of minutes, or drawn out over the space of days or weeks.
Oh, what options?
It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
So at findomsonly.com, they have many members who are keen to partake in findom relationship and get into wallet draining. They say the experience can be rewarding for both parties involved. So whether you want to be the pay pig to hand over your cash or find the findom to take everything, their site has something for everyone.
That would be so great if there was a game show called Pay Pigs. And it was Wheel of Fortune, but everything was just you gave money away. And then, like, the grand prize if you win the game is that you get to liquidate your bank account to the person, and then it just ends with the guy with a boner standing there. Like, what do you think is the childhood trauma that causes this kink? Because this is obviously coming from trauma. Is this like a imposter syndrome thing where you like inherited money and you don't feel like you're worth it? So you need and your mom always told you that you were worth nothing and that you were like a spoiled kid that was just getting everything handed to him. She dies, you get a trust fund, you don't feel like you deserve it. Mommy, take my money. Is it got to be something like that, right?
Again, I'm just getting into the site a little bit, but I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah, there's some childhood trauma associated with the sexual arousal from giving someone money.
Right. And this like whole idea of not having it be actual money and using the kink coins that they have at findomsonly.com. To me, now you're just tinkering around the edges.
I like
there
Uncle
has
Sam.
to be to be real money involved.
That's like when you go to a strip club and they give you strip club money. It's like if I want to make it rain, I want to use George Washington's.
Yeah.
I don't want your funny money. Yeah, it's good stuff, John.
The idea of pick a game show host, Steve Harvey's.
Yeah.
So how do you feel?
How you feel? Aroused. All right, that's $10,000. Okay. You aroused yet? I'm getting there. All right, we'll keep spinning the wheel.
It's another $50,000.
And there's just some fat chick there picking her teeth and smoking a cigarette, just taking the money.
Like a combo. How about a combo Family Feud?
While the kids have to sit there and watch while their father liquidates the...
I like that.
Name something you wouldn't do and then hand over money after you did it. I can't think of anything. 5 seconds. I can't think of anything I wouldn't do and hand over money for in the process.
I have a game. No, here's Family Feud. So it's the dad, and he's standing there with the kids. And so the woman says, okay, your dad has to get naked, tuck his junk behind him, and eat out of a dog bowl, or he gives me $10,000. Now, the dad's thrilled because either way, he's the winner.
Right.
And then the kids have to sit there and say, do you want your dad to give the $10,000 to her or him, or do you want him to eat out of the dog bowl? That's the game. I'd play that game. We should get someone in studio to do that. I don't think we'd have a problem finding the findom. I think the problem would be finding the pay pig. But this guy said it to me this is what it is. He's not one of them, but this is what he said. I've learned more stuff. This internet's got everyone going crazy.
Get the Belichick kids on there. Name something your father is going to do with his millions. Give it to his grandkid. Show me. Give it to his grandkids.
have his girlfriend have a business with someone that's in the financial industry that they've LLC'd and buy some property in Dorchester.
Oh, number one answer.
Yep.
Buy a secretary a $2 million brownstone. All right.
Set up a 529 for his grandkids. No.
Raise Linda Holiday's kids and so they have enough money to DJ in Nantucket. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on. by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Red Sox surge continued yesterday at Fenway Park.
Line drive, base hit. Gonzalez in. Story has to hold at third. It was hit that hard, and that puts the Red Sox in front 2-1.
Thanks to Roku, and the Sox scored 6 runs in the 4th inning during a 6-1 win over Houston at Fenway. Ceddanne Rafaela had an RBI single as part of the rally and a 3-hit day overall. The Sox sweep the Astros. They've won 5 in a row. They led the Yankees by a game and a half for the top wild card in the American League. The homestand continues against Kansas City at Fenway Park tonight. The Sox also have promoted top pitching prospect Peyton Tolley to AAA Worcester. In Patriots news, they'll be back on the practice field at 10:15 this morning behind Gillette Stadium as training camp continues. The team had the weekend off. They're getting ready for both a joint practice with the Washington Commanders on Wednesday morning and a home preseason game against them on Friday night. Last night, the NFL Players Union elected David White as their interim president. He's the former leader of the Actors Union. And amid reports, he's purchased the WNBA's Connecticut Sun and is planning to move them up to Boston. Former Celtics co-owner Steve Pagliuca released a statement last night. It indicates that while an offer to purchase the Sun has been made, the deal isn't done and won't be without league approval. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Blue Sky Restoration Contractors. If you experience a large-scale property loss, Blue Sky's the only company you need. They'll coordinate the work of all parties involved. Visit goblusky.com, restoring your property and your life for a brighter tomorrow. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you...
Oh, my God. I mean, we got to get with it in there.
What's happening?
All right. We are Toucher and Hardy. And
you know what music this is, Fred?
It's the WNBA music.
Hell yeah, it is.
And, yeah, I really need these tweets or I'm not going to be able to do it. So, I mean, it's a rare situation where I can't do this break unless I get that information. So it was in Slack and now I can't find it. So I don't know what we're going to do. It's a little frustrating. It's just like, go ahead and do the break.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Just talk. Just talk. Even though I need the entire, the reaction to it.
Oh, yeah, I can help you out with that. Do you want to get into it?
If you have the tweets with the reaction to it, the humorless reactions to it?
Yes.
Okay. If you have that, then we can. All right. There is, you saw that Steve Pagliuca is looking to buy the Connecticut Sun for an ungodly amount of money and move them to Boston. The WNBA said, not so fast. You haven't even applied to be a franchise, like a new franchise, let alone move. We're good in Connecticut. You want to be an expansion franchise, you get in line. So the WNBA has done it again. They're stepping in the way of progress. But what is going on in the WNBA is that there is a rash of dildo throwing. People are throwing dildos onto the court at the WNBA. This is the first incident.
Hayes gets blocked by Maya Caldwell. Something flies on the court, actually, from the crowd. The officials will say they will continue play as that goes off the fingertips of the Valkyries. And you can see the object, the block right there. And the object comes, that green thing bounces, and it goes to the sideline. We're not exactly we're not sure where it came from. No room for any of that type of activity. Yeah, and no one's picked the object up yet. You guys, oh my gosh, okay. Okay. Inappropriate. Get him out of here, whoever it is.
So there you go. And nothing will dissuade someone more from not doing something again than a completely humorless reaction. Because after all, that's not what you're looking for when you throw a dildo onto the court. That's what happened on that broadcast is precisely the goal of throwing the dildo on the court. It's to get people to comedically get upset. That's exactly what you're doing. Like if they would have said, like he kind of laughed and said, oh, look at that. Oh, boy. Like, we talked about this before. If they would have, made light of it, it would have been funny. And then it wouldn't have spawned, I don't know, more people throwing dildos on the floor. When you can disrupt something and get people to act humorless about it, that's the fun. That is what's fun about it. So, lo and behold, there is another WNBA game. And here comes the dildo.
Got a whistle away from the basketball.
All right, so that happened. They picked it up with a towel. I'll have you know, the guy who cleans the court. Sky Center Elizabeth Williams, she called the behavior super disrespectful and immature and told the people to grow up, which again will immediately stop the dildos from being thrown because that's not precisely the reaction that you want. Grow up? Oh, well, that'll show them. I'm really going to grow. Now I got to grow up.
Sophie Cunningham said, stop throwing dildos on the court. You're going to hurt one of us.
Well, some people use those for joy.
Sean said, need more context. Red One Bangarang said, how about you stop playing basketball on the dildo range?
Here's another reaction I have for you. Isabel Harrison, she said on X, she's a forward for the Liberty, wherever they play. She says, arena security, hello, please do better. It's not funny, never was. Throwing anything on the court is so dangerous, which again, pleading on Twitter for people to stop and saying, please do better is going to do nothing if not inflame the dildo throwing. Because now it's going to become a game of when's the dildo going to fall on the floor?
Right.
See, if you would have at first just kind of laughed it off, like when they threw the dildo at the Buffalo game, like during the Buffalo game, they famously threw the dildo. And by the way, it's not that big a deal. A dildo falls on the floor, you pick it up, you take it away. This league couldn't be more humorless. Like everything is such a disaster for them. Caitlin Clark falls into their laps. It's an unmitigated disaster to them. They can't get over how much of a pain in the ass this whole Caitlin Clark thing is for them because it's overshadowing the other players. That's their concern. As was the NBA's concern when Jordan was a star. They were like, Dominique Wilkins isn't getting enough run.
We want more Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, we got this whole Dolph. I don't know. It's just we have this Chuck Nevitt situation. He's just sitting on the bench getting unnoticed.
Yeah.
But the WNBA, again, just this arena this woman, Isabel Harrison, thought the action to take was to go on Twitter, acknowledge the dildo, and respond to it as arena security, hello, question mark, exclamation point. Please do better. It's not funny. Never was. Well, since you say so, it's not funny at all. This reaction makes it 1,000 times funnier. 1,000 times funnier. And if you're going to get arrested for throwing the dildo, what's the charge? Seriously, what's the charge? It's like disruptive...
disorderly conduct.
Disorderly conduct.
That's what it is. It's got to be, right?
Are you arrested and booked and have to be bailed out? I can't imagine that's the case.
He was, according to reports, he was arrested. So I don't know if he was detained, but arrested.
Yeah. And they're like, they take away your season tickets. Oh, no. You're not going to be allowed to do another WNBA game. Well, I would imagine that's the guy throwing the dildo's attention.
Charged with assault and rechargeable battery?
Hey. That's really.
If they were
good.
vibrators, that would be more apt.
You can bet on.
Or if they were a pocket situation.
So we just know it's going to happen again. So you can now bet on the color of the third WNBA dildo, if not green.
Here we go.
Either black or brown is plus 200. Rainbow plus 200. White/Caucasian plus 250. Pink is plus 300. Purple plus 325. And blue plus 1,400.
Can't they all be true?
They can all be true. John on Twitter said this will lead to inside her trading.
Everyone's got a cute pun. You know what would be 10 times funnier if someone rolled a vibrator onto the court and it started like moving around and they couldn't catch it?
Well, that's why I say it's like
chattering teeth.
The fact
exactly. Like that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like it's like when a dog gets loose on the baseball field and there's just this vibrator going around.
If you put that rabbit into dual mode and put it on the highest speed, it'll flop around.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean they've been known to take people out.
I've seen videos. The idea though that it's not funny, of course it is, and the reaction makes it funnier. But when you've got this big floppy phallus that lands on the court and takes a bounce or two, what isn't funny about that?
Yeah, like it's not like I'm hiring the guy to be a writer on, the Late Show. No. But I mean, it's
funny when it got thrown into the end zone at the Pats Bills game. It's funny now.
But the reason it doesn't happen at every NFL game is because there's not this reaction. When like people get upset and start going crazy about something dumb, that's when it's funny. That's the candid camera. That's the beginning of time. Like pranking someone and getting them upset over something stupid is a human condition that to us is funny. A dildo is a harmless thing. It's a fake. In this case, this green one, it's a green fake phallus. It's being thrown in the court. And by the way, it was under the basket. It's something that could just be ignored. Or even the people that are commenting could chuckle. But this reaction of being like upset and acting like it's a big deal makes it infinitely funnier.
Inappropriate.
Yeah, but when someone goes, that's inappropriate. Well, then why don't you just beg them to throw more dildos? Because if I throw a dildo now, everyone's going to get upset and start tweeting and acting all incredulous about it. That makes it great.
Whoever it is.
Fred, there's a little bit of pageant.tv going on here as well,
yeah,
right? Where,
exactly
they got in the way of us playing their audio, and which is they're shooting themselves in the foot of getting in the way of a new audience, perhaps. And there's a little bit of this here, too, where I'm certainly interested in watching a WNBA game now that I know that a dildo might fly onto the court at some point in time.
Yeah,
that's entertainment.
And I don't know why that's like not funny. Well, no, it is because you're reacting this way. Truman, go ahead.
All right. Rollins college graduate, but I'll tell you this. So, okay. Why wouldn't they just have people sit? I mean, if it was me and my friends, my buddies from Kaisai, we would just be out there at the front of the arena, TD, Waterhouse, whatever, or wherever these guys play. I don't know, but they were in College Park in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I don't even know what arena that is.
I mean, I would just be handing them out. Here you go. And isn't that the whole point? The whole point is that your team sucks.
Yeah,
you suck, and so we're going to throw dildos at you.
Who was the A's owner? Bill Veeck.
Bill Veeck. Yeah,
Bill Veeck.
Yeah.
Veeck.
You know what Bill Veeck would have done? Bill Veeck is known as this master marketer. Bill Veeck would have had dildo night. He would have. Or something. I know you can't do dildo night, but he could have done something.
Everyone throws one on the field during the seventh inning stretch, or something like that.
How about this, George Washington Monument Night, and they hand out something that's not a dildo, but it's phallic shaped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hands with the plastic number one. He would find some way to incorporate it into it. We're in on the joke now, and then you know what that makes the joke? Not funny. That's when it's not funny. When the person's accepted it and riding with it. If you ever call someone a name, you give them a nickname, hey, Fatso, and then they get all upset. But then if they start calling themselves Fatso, then you're yeah.
Takes away the power.
Yeah. Now I don't feel like I'm getting to you, and now it's not going to be funny to me anymore.
Well, the conspiracy theory that I just came up with, Behind the green dildos, it's all part of Steve Pagliuca's push to bring the Connecticut team to Boston and play as part of under the same umbrella with the Celtics.
So the Lady Celtics. And,
just start, you just start equating one with the other. So it's this very low level kind of psychological PR campaign.
And they could have like a adult company be the sponsor on the jersey.
There
like
it is.
Adam and Eve, or what was that the name of the place? Adam and Eve?
Adult Superstore, pick one.
Yeah, like just adult superstore.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to use their logos, just a green dildo.
Get him out of here, whoever it is.
Get her out of there! Oh, hey. Yeah, I wonder why that's why Nick continues to F up. It's an elaborate prank that you guys are pulling on me. Jimmy, go ahead.
So I'm sorry if at the beginning of this you guys already mentioned it, and quickly I just have an image of the vibrator on the floor and everybody running around with the do 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 noise in the background. But the real hero of this whole situation is the producer for the live feed, because I saw a clip of it and the announcers were trying to be very ambiguous and nondescript about what was thrown on the court. And then out of nowhere, one of the cameras pans, zooms right into it, clear as could be, and they try to get off of it real quick. So that's all.
Yeah, because if you're the cameraman, you have to get on it because, you know this is going to be B-roll used for something. So you have to put the camera on it. I mean, there's multiple cameras unless there's not a WNBA games. But, like, you kind of have to put the camera on it because it's going to be – they're going to want the video. Someone's going to want the video, even if it's not being used on the production.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I did see it. And the guy who, like, wipes the court up, I don't know what his name is, like what they call that position. But he went with the towel and he picked the dildo up in case it had been used. What?
I think the second one that just happened, the guy kicks it at first, and it kind of does a little floppy move, and someone jumps out of the way of it.
Well, the thing that's offensive about the dildo is the size. Unfair.
I don't care for that.
I don't care for that at all.
That's
No room for any of that type of activity.
That's like running with ankle weights.
False advertising.
I mean, when by the time I get in there, it's going to be all loosened up.
Inappropriate.
It's like you let King Kong Bundy put your T-shirt on by the time you get it on. You know what I'm saying?
Stretching out a neck hole is bad enough.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the guy in AA that George had to deal with his sweater.
Right.
He wouldn't let George wear his sweater because he was going to stretch the neck hole
James Spader. It was cashmere.
It was cashmere. Huh. All right, so there you go. My advice to the WNBA would be don't tweet about the dildo afterwards unless it's something funny. Unless you can think of a fun joke, maybe embrace it as being a silly thing. Boy, do those women take themselves seriously. I can't tell you. I mean, my God. And if you go, well, if they were guys, they'd be taking them seriously. May I alert you to the existence of Inside the NBA?
They really need to have a league-wide meeting where they sit down with the owners and the players and the fans and everybody else and say, here's how we have to act.
Yes.
From everything from dildos to somebody spending a record amount on a women's team and trying to move it to a bigger city, and we all saying no. Here's how we're going to act from now on. We're not going to make a big deal about the dildos. And anytime someone like Steve Pagliuca shows an interest and wants to give a whole bunch of money and build a new practice facility, we're going to let him do that.
We'd rather play off in the middle of Nowheresville, Connecticut than move the team to Boston.
Yeah,
we all got fans will go. Why? I don't understand. You're theoretically a money-making business, right?
And by the way, everything Inside the NBA does is joking around and crapping on the NBA. I mean, they admit to like not paying attention to a game that's on at the time they're on the air. Like that's what's fun about it. Like Shaquille O'Neal ripping on Rudy Gobert. That's like what's funny about it. That's why they're beloved. That's why that's the best studio show. It's because they don't take it seriously. It's not that big a deal.
You're getting attention for the first time ever. You're getting attention.
You are just so humorless in you're not entertainers. That's the thing, is you're not entertainers. You got to be an entertainer, especially when you're selling a business. You're an entertainer above all else. You're an entertainer before an athlete. If you want to make big contracts and you want to make big money and you want to get paid what you're worth, that's what you do. entertain.
Yeah, they're treated. They're being too precious with everything.
They absolutely are. And it doesn't offend me from any kind of sports. It offends me, as I stated before, from a marketing perspective. It's like such a class in what not to do. It should be studied because there's people that got to be like, I mean, I could turn that around in 10 seconds. How about this? Embrace Caitlin Clark and get a sense of humor. There you go. You know, that's how you sell the game. All right, we'll be back in just a
Get him out of here, whoever it is.
Listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. The Thing on the Sports Hub.
But now, I totally understand why Bill gave me such a hard time. I was 28 at the time, and he just couldn't relate to a woman that old.
This is one of the only songs in the world that both my kids and I all enjoy. It's a very rare thing. MF Doom and this, essentially, is all both kids will listen to. All right, we are Toucher and Hardy. Chris Mason is the sports enterprise reporter for Mass Live. He's very smart because he's covering Belichick in North Carolina as fall practices have begun in Chapel Hill. Bill Belichick's there, and Chris like down there comparatively.
Exactly the same is how I would describe it, as like a regular practice type thing in New England. If anything, he shut it down a little more with the reporters down there, where I believe he's going to be meeting with the press once a week. There's going to be one day of media access a week for camp down there. And it's the normal, 15-minute press conference and then 20-minute window at practice where you can watch them stretch, do some individual drills, which the local reporters down there did not love after they had Mac Brown before, who I guess kind of gave them free reign to just roam throughout practice. They were asked just not to take video of 11-on-11 drills, but they could stay out there. They could walk the sidelines, do whatever. And now the reporters are just penned on a far sideline. Looking at practice 2 fields away.
Okay, so
which is kind of funny. Where after covering Belichick for a while, I knew to bring binoculars, and nobody else down there had them.
So Chris,
a bunch of those guys were coming up to me asking, "Do you see Bill? Do you know where he is? Have you seen Steven Belichick? Yeah, he's at the 20. Is Brian out there? Yep, he's on the sideline of the 40.
Never been to a camp before.
No. So Chris, that's what I wanted to ask you. Have the reporters in North Carolina asked for your guidance? You just explained that they needed your binoculars, but how are they reacting to the way Belichick is? Him being a dick. Go ahead.
So I don't think he's been bad with them in that regard at this point, and some of that I think is just the time of year where training camp, spring training, across any sport, it's just a lot of painful optimism all the time where, everybody's going to win a national championship. Everybody's going to win a Super Bowl. A lot of the storylines are really positive. So I don't think they've gotten a ton of pushback from him yet. And he can also there are times where he can be polite. He can be cordial, all this stuff. And so they're pretty early on there, and they're definitely still in that kind of honeymoon phase with him. There was only one time in his press conference on Saturday morning that he even really pushed back, and that was when a reporter started a question basically being you're a defensive mastermind. You are, one of the greatest defensive coaches of all time, but Freddie Kitchens is running the offense. And then he asked a Freddie Kitchens question, and Bill was I'm involved in everything as a head coach, so it's not going to be Freddie Kitchens' offense. Kind of like that.
You can't give the guy any credit. I mean, after all, look at what Patricia did when he took over the offense.
Just wait until TCU blows them out on opening day. Let's see how good he is with them.
And that's my question. What are the expectations? My next question. Thank you, Jonathan. That was going to be my next question. What are the expectations around there? Because that's funny. Because national people are saying they suck, but there seems to be a lot of optimism with the fan base. What is the vibe around there?
Oh, yeah, locally they're definitely optimistic about him taking over. But like you said, nationally, they got picked to finish 8th in the ACC preseason poll behind, the teams you'd expect like Clemson and Miami, but also behind Duke and some other teams like that. So I'd say locally there's a lot of optimism, but nationally there's a bit more skepticism.
Do you think that fan base and media will turn on him if he starts to lose? Because all of a sudden everything else that's gone along with this, now that's a problem because now you're not winning. How long do you think it will take for them to turn?
And I think it would take at least a season, if not more, and it would have to look really bad, I think, for them to turn, just because this football program's never really had a ton of success. They're not like a team that's winning the ACC every year or anything like that. So I think it would take some time. And I think Bill is savvy enough that he could probably talk his way out of early struggles with, we have 70 new players. We have, we're overhauling the roster. This is going to take time. It was never going to happen immediately. But then on the flip side, if they, win the season opener there, I think that feels totally different. And suddenly it's, yeah, look, like Bill Belichick, 33rd NFL team down here. We're already, winning on national TV. So I don't think they're going to turn on him terribly quickly if it doesn't go well, but remains to be seen.
Yeah, because remember with Deion Sanders and people were like, and Deion's done a great job in Colorado, but remember when they had that early success, they like won the first game that they weren't supposed to win, and then it all fell apart and like kind of like the glow came off of it. I'm wondering if that's what the situation there is going to be, because if you sell out those season tickets as they have under the promise of winning, I don't know if I still want season tickets if I realize this is the same old thing, Like, how did he recruit? Is the team, does it have better talent than they had before?
Well, it's interesting that you brought Deion's team up where, watching those first games in the shootouts, it was like, oh, wow, they can really score. And then you realize, oh, but they didn't build an offensive or a defensive line, and then they just crumbled. I don't think Bill would be that negligent with the roster construction. So I do think they'll be competitive. I don't think it'll be as top heavy as the Deion thing turned out to be right off the bat.
And there won't be celebrities on the sideline.
Yeah.
But there's that. And I think the other thing is, Bill always got attention here because A, it's the NFL, and B, after, winning early on, he remained compelling no matter how he acted because, the team was good and Brady was here for the majority of it. So people were still paying attention. I think the real danger is if they are lackluster or, they don't get off to a hot start, that people just don't pay that much attention because in a vacuum, there's not that much to pay attention to with Bill. He doesn't give you much in the post-game press conferences. And if the team isn't that good and it's not a total dumpster fire either, maybe people just become disinterested and they become apathetic, which is the last thing the university wants out of this deal. I mean, they want people paying attention for better or worse. And if they're just okay, and people soon realize that Bill is not a draw, during the games he's not, after the games he's not, if they just stop paying attention altogether, I think that's maybe the real danger for the school.
Absolutely. I think that's the nightmare for UNC is that they're just kind of irrelevant and boring. And then suddenly basketball season starts and down there, everyone just cares about the basketball team. And then Bill is the highest paid employee in the state of North Carolina coaching a mediocre football team. So, yeah, I think that would be the worst case scenario for them is just an irrelevance. And I think it would be a little easier to slip into just because they have the basketball program there that people care so much about.
Yeah, and then, where do you put the NIL money and, what are you going to invest in? Are you going to invest in the basketball program or the football program? That's the problem with having those, being that ACC school and having those two, rob Peter to pay Paul situation, especially with the new guidelines they're going to put up there. All right, well, are you still in North Carolina or have you left?
No, I'm back. I'm back home in Boston now.
Okay. Now, did you keep your binoculars?
There's only one day of media access, so it didn't make a whole lot of sense to stay down there for 4, even though that might have been the initial plan.
That's Bill's dream. I mean, he keeps the media not at arm's length, but tucked away in a corner, and they only see him one day a week? Oh, my God.
I have to ask, was Jordan anywhere to be seen?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see her, no. I did not notice Jordan, and, I was going with the binoculars, so if anyone was going to find her, it probably would have been me, but no, I didn't see her down there.
What did did anyone comment from the local media about that whole relationship, or are they over it?
No, they're pretty over it. So I didn't hear a whole lot about that from them.
All right. We're saying, is he a pay pig and she a findom? Do you know what those two things are?
I do not know.
Okay. Well,
should I?
A findom is a woman who dominates a man, and the pay pig is the man who's dominated, and he's being dominated financially. He likes to give the money away, and that's one theory on the relationship.
You learn something new every day, I guess.
Yes, you do if you come on this show enough, Chris. Chris Mason, Reed is reporting in Mass Live. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, appreciate it. There you go.
By the way, North Carolina, I was just looking at the schedule. They have a chance to get off to a really good start.
Yeah.
They start with TCU, but then they play Charlotte, Richmond, Central Florida, California, and Virginia in the first 7 or 8 weeks. I mean, they have a really good chance to be something like 5-2. And you see the press around Belichick, if that actually happens with that program in his first year.
5-2?
They got a chance at it, yeah.
They're a 3.5-point favorite at home against TCU.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
I think TCU won 8 games last year, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, the game's at home, I guess, right? Unless it's a neutral field.
It is. Well, North Carolina is listed as the home team.
Okay.
When in the gambling situation, it doesn't say neutral site. It's so I can't tell you. I can't tell you with all confidence, but
Sure.
I'm guessing it is at the University of North Carolina.
Yeah, there are no monsters in the ACC other than Clemson, right? Not really.
Louisville, Florida State should be better. Florida State's got the kid from BC as their quarterback.
Then that's a 10-win team right there. Then if Thomas Castellanos is their quarterback,
Well, he's the guy you said had the golden arm.
I did got a cannon.
He decidedly does not have a cannon. I can tell you with all certainty that kid does not have a very good arm.
You mean the kid who quit on his team and just left, and then luckily enough landed at Florida State?
You should have seen when I was in that box at that BC game, and there was like all those like big alumni in there. The stuff they were saying about him. Whoa, boy, they don't like him.
No, I've heard the same stuff you have.
Someone said he left a dog. I do not know if this is true.
No,
I do. So
I
this
didn't
is
hear this. All right.
This is just something I heard. It is absolutely not in any way verified. It was just funny that someone said it. In fact, I would guess it's not true.
Yeah.
But someone said, he left his dog in his apartment. Like it got to that point. They were they were so pissed at him for quitting because when these kids come to school, there's big BC alumni. There's guys all over there.
Yep.
So they were pretty pissed off. All right, we will be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox swept the Houston Astros at Fenway Park yesterday 6-1. The Sox got all 6 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning, and then Lucas Giolito took over from there. 8 innings, 1 run, 3 hits for the win. Sox a game and a half up on the Yankees now for the top wild card in the American League. They'll pitch Brian Bayo against Kansas City at Fenway tonight. Patriots had the weekend off, but they're back at work at training camp this morning. Public practice begins at 10:15 a.m. in Foxborough. This is also a game week for the team. They got a joint workout with the Washington Commanders on Wednesday morning and then an exhibition game against them at Gillette Stadium on Friday night. And amid reports he's purchased the WNBA's Connecticut Sun and wants to move him up to Boston. Former Celtic co-owner Steve Pagliuca released a statement last night indicating that while he has an offer on the table for the franchise, the deal isn't done and won't be completed without league approval. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Sports Etc. in Arlington. Don't miss their Double Down tax-free weekend sale this Saturday and Sunday. Only Sports Etc. will match the state's sales tax savings on your purchase of new skates, sticks, goalie equipment, and more. Sports Etc. 1303 Mass Ave in Arlington, Boston's best hockey shop. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Visit the 99 Restaurant Monday through Wednesday for their
jelly, right? Because they got sued by the Jello Corporation because you can't use that because it's trademarked.
I was unaware of that.
I think that's how the story went. I could be wrong.
Well, there's been some controversy over some post-Ozzy Osbourne death. By the way, Lonnie Anderson has died. You can stop this song. This is Green Jello, unless you forgot about it. There's a reason we're playing it. But by the way, Lonnie Anderson has passed away. And I got to tell you, I was not cognizant of WKRP in Cincinnati when it was on the air. John obviously was in high school, or college maybe, when WKRP was on the air. But when I first saw it, I can't recall another time where I saw someone as stunning as Lonnie Anderson on that show. And then people will go, well, I like the other one, the brown-haired one.
Yes, Bailey.
Absolutely. But you don't. But you don't. You don't like Bailey more than her. There's no way you're more sexually attracted to Bailey than you are to Lonnie Anderson at that time.
Let me do a side-by-side.
You have to do a
Like, I don't like when people do this stuff. It's like Ginger or Marianne. It's like you like Ginger more. Like, you'd have sex with Ginger. That's the one that you want to have sex with.
Stop trying so hard.
Exactly. Now, like, might envision, like, being married or, like, who would be the more compatible companion.
Fine. But that wasn't the argument. That's not the discussion. Stop trying so hard.
Yeah, the idea is who would be the most sexually pleasing partner due to the way they look, which is
the given in every conversation when you discuss these things.
And I'd go so far as to say important when it comes to sexual attraction.
That's Bailey. That's Lonnie.
Bailey's really good looking.
Yeah, thank you.
But Lonnie Anderson's like insane. And her hair, you know how long it probably took to do that hair?
Yeah, again, high maintenance. Very unattractive.
And that's pre-Burt Reynolds. That's pre-Evening Shade. You recall Evening Shade, Jonathan?
No, I do not.
Well, he was a high school football coach.
Okay.
And he lived with Lonnie Anderson. They were a real-life couple at the time.
Oh.
This was after Burt Reynolds' weird foray into old women. Who was the old woman that he had the relationship with the talk show? Norma Ray or something like that?
I was going to say as a joke, Martha Ray.
Martha Ray, yeah. I think it was Martha Ray.
Oh, God.
I think he was in a relationship at the height of his sexual powers with Martha Ray. I do believe that is the case.
Okay.
Because there's a episode of the Martha Ray show, if I have the correct person, where like the sexual tension between the two of them is unbelievable. But it might not be Martha Ray. It could be.
Dinah Shore.
Dinah Shore.
Yeah.
Okay, Dinah Shore.
Yeah.
But she was no spring chicken.
20 years older than Burt. They met in 1970 and began a 4-year affair.
Yeah.
Dinah was 53. Burt was 34 at the time.
Hell yeah. Burt loved it. I wonder what childhood trauma caused that.
How about that?
All right, so she has passed away. But yeah, Burt Reynolds had a very interesting sex life. He was at Florida State. He didn't need any big head coach to go recruit him. All right, so listen. There has, since in the wake of Ozzy Osbourne's death, people don't take death seriously sometimes. They joke around about it, and such was the case with the band Adam just played, Green Jelly. After his passing, they've had to fire a member because he put up a meme of Ozzy holding a sign that says "One day sober." The band did not like that. There was a lot of backlash, and then since the guy who fired the guy who put up the meme has been defending himself because people are mad at him for firing the guy. But let's move on to Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart, gentlemen, is still alive and performing, which is fairly impressive. You know, he used to kick those soccer balls into the crowd.
Oh.
He used to wear very short shorts and kick soccer balls into the crowd.
And until he kicked one in somebody's head and got sued.
Right. Is that what happened? He's also a big train guy. He collects model trains. But I read his book. So he sings a song called Forever Young. And so what he had decided was a good idea is that on the big screens, because, you know, this guy ain't playing clubs. This guy's playing big houses. He's got these big video screens, and during Forever Young, he has Ozzy Osbourne standing on a cloud with different deceased artists, with Triple Session, Prince. He's got him up there with Tina Turner. He's got him up there as the video continues. It's a minute-long video with Bob Marley. Now, you might say to yourself, oh, okay, so it's just Ozzy Osbourne with these deceased artists. Like, that's kind of a nice thing, Forever Young. Like, let's remember these artists. Oh, no. There's AI involved. It's not Ozzy Osbourne, a photo of him with a guy. No. It's a video of a fake Ozzy Osbourne holding a fake Bob Marley, for instance, and both of them smiling and moving around with their arms around each other. That was a good idea. Let's reanimate the dead through AI. You know, I realize AI is taking over, and it's a little frightening because I don't know anything about it, and I know it's already taking jobs. I know that Amazon put a word out to their employees that, like, look, a lot of you guys are going to be replaced by AI. A good strategy might be to make yourself more valuable to the company. It's like, just fair warning, this is going to happen. And I realize that it's going to change our lives in ways that we don't even realize. But one way it won't change lives, I believe, is it being a good idea to take two dead guys, reanimate them, and put their arms around each other.
I didn't know Tina Turner was dead until just now.
Oh, I did.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The private.
She was young.
I have a Reddit page, Private Dancer.
I don't know that Ozzy. I don't know that Ozzy would have been hanging out with Prince or Tupac or Michael Jackson.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson thing is a little odd, too. There he is with Freddie Mercury. And I think you probably could have gotten a picture of Freddie Mercury and Ozzy from, like, their careers. I'd imagine they were in the same room together at one point.
Sure.
Like I imagine in the 70s when Queen was big and Black Sabbath was big, they crossed paths at one point and a photo was taken. But you see it, they're on a cloud, which is, of course, what heaven is. Heaven is cloud.
Yeah,
You're on a cloud.
it's up there.
When you die...
Don't you read Family Circus? They come down from the clouds and they check in on the family.
So what happens is when you die, you go up to clouds in the sky because that's what's up there.
Yes.
You go up to the sky.
Yes.
And then when you're standing around, everyone else who's ever been alive is standing around too. So it's very crowded.
And you get a selfie stick. Yeah, it used to be a harp, but now you get a selfie stick.
And if you're famous on Earth, what they do to you is they go, you deserve to be in VIP. So we're even marginalized in heaven. Our achievements as celebrities, the celebrities' achievements on Earth are recognized in heaven. God kind of goes like, here, why don't you hang out with Freddie Mercury? Get up there. Come on, you guys both sang. I think you'll get along great. This is forever now. Forever now, you're going to just like be standing around with like other dudes that were musicians. Beethoven. It's going to be like Bill and Ted's.
You know what that means? You know what that means for you?
What's that?
When you get up there, Wallach who preceded you by 20 years probably. You're like,
that wouldn't have been the guest 5 years ago, but go ahead.
Hey, Freddie, good to see you.
Yeah, now I have a chance of outliving John, so this is a whole thing now.
What the hell are you doing here? Oh, it's me and B Reels over here. Like, this is it?
Yeah,
this is my heaven?
Yeah, Dan Roach will welcome all of us.
And it's going to go, nothing's going to change. This is forever.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, like this doesn't seem like a good idea. Like, so it's just life forever? And you're just with the same people all the time? What if you didn't like the people?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That would be a big concern of mine. Just the minute you get up to heaven, they're like, everything's the same. Like, the amount of money you had on Earth, that's the amount of money up here. You're hanging out with the same people.
Right. But everybody likes everybody because they're all happy now because they're in heaven. But
Right.
But that doesn't mean you get to talk to everybody.
No. I mean, I can't imagine I'd have access to Freddie Mercury.
And how are you going to be happy if all of a sudden you like everyone? Those two
very good
do
point.
not go together.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's I would imagine that it's heaven like Storyland. That's how I envision heaven.
Don't push me
a
anymore.
Roller coaster on every
and you
corner.
know what? The more I investigate, don't push me anymore in this Lonnie Anderson versus Bailey on WKRP thing because it's going to be one of those strange hills that I die on.
Okay, and first of all, I'd imagine our audience really wants you to dig in on that because they were big WKRP fans. We're trying to reach people older than us. Because I don't even know that I didn't even play with myself to that show to my knowledge because that came out when I was little. Like that wasn't even in syndication when I was, able to do those things. All right, we will return. Des Bryant has come out. There's a whole situation going on in Dallas with Micah Parsons He wants to be traded. There's some fallback and blowback from that that's interesting. We'll have that for you in just a moment.
5 in a row. They're 11 games over 500 for the first time since June of 2022. They open up a 3-game series with Kansas City at Fenway Park tonight. Sox also made some more news last night by promoting their top pitching prospect. He is 6'6", 250-pound lefty Peyton Tolle. He is now at AAA Worcester and is expected to be with the team tomorrow. Patriots gave their players the weekend off after another in-stadium scrimmage on Friday night. They're back at it at 10:15 this morning in another public practice. A joint workout with the Washington Commanders will take place behind Gillette Stadium Wednesday morning, and then the two teams will play an exhibition game in the stadium on Friday night. Last night, the NFL Players Union elected David White as their interim president. He's the former leader of the Actors Union. And Braintree, Massachusetts is just getting underway against Essex, Vermont in the New England Little League Regional in Bristol, Connecticut. The winner of this game advances to the championship game on Thursday evening. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Super Service Today, Massachusetts' #1 provider for residential and commercial plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning, day or night, and always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports.
I know, and then you called me anyway. But because Adam and I would talk all the time. But Adam goes, I've never heard this before from anyone that said, look, I feel really bad, so I really lowballed it.
I looked over into the studio as soon as you said that, and Ryan is normally just a beady-eyed little twerp. I've never seen his eyes get that wide. They were like saucers. As soon
when he heard 15 grand?
No, when he heard a lot of ways, Ryan can do this job better than I do.
Oh.
That gets me to thinking.
I'm telling you, the Beasleys hear that, and they're like,
oh, boy.
Hello, bottom line. Hello, NASDAQ. Here we go. We can cut that big, laborious.
So when did you
the albatross of Adam 12 salary?
So when did you come off vacation according to your timestamp? 5:59 a.m. this morning?
No, I mean, I get in a little before 5, and I got stuff to do. So
Okay.
and I did have some thoughts that I wanted to call and share with Fred yesterday. So I did end up chatting with him about some stuff.
Yeah, and he even gave me a 1-sheet prospectus on the segment, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
It shows that he put thought into it.
Elevator pitch?
It is. It's not an elevator pitch so much as it's the meeting after the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch was in the car.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the show. I was on the way home yesterday. I wanted to catch up on the segments. I listened to the Maddie segment from last week. It was enjoyable to listen to.
Maddie wants back on.
I heard about that.
Maddie called me yesterday. He's itching to get back on.
Does he want a radio station to program? As I'm talking myself out of jobs here, I might as well talk myself out of that one, too.
Does he want to program
Rock 92.9?
HD2?
Yeah, there you go.
Do you know what channel, and this is not a joke, do you know what?
13:30 a.m.?
Would anyone care to, it's a music station. Would anyone care to guess what Maddie told me his favorite satellite station is?
What Maddie told you his favorite satellite station is.
Okay,
it's a
it's a music station.
The 40s on 4.
Frank's Place?
No,
Sinatra?
I believe that's something Junction.
Yeah, that's right. It plays all the old big band songs.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get the name of it
Mostly
right.
about trains.
Yeah.
40s Junction, I think it's called.
40s Junction.
Pennsylvania
Chattanooga Choo-Choo.
6-5.
There you go.
Okay, no. His favorite music station on satellite.
Yeah, it's what he said he listens to. He says he was leaving the golf course and he was going to listen to a satellite.
I'm going to say The Bridge.
That's a good guess.
What's the bridge?
Billy Joel.
What's the
It's kind of easy listening. It's almost like more like a folky yacht rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess the one with the album cuts. What's that one, Hardy? Where it's like classic rock, but it's
vinyl?
deep cuts.
A
Yeah, I'm gonna guess
phone's
it's
ringing,
classic
by the way,
vinyl.
that has a light that's on a sticklet.
Yes.
So
we
maybe
should,
I would answer that
should
one.
grab Nick. You could grab the hotline. Thank you.
Again, I'm on the air, but I see the phone ringing and a light on, and I got to interrupt the segment to tell one of these guys. You want to talk about redundancy? It takes two guys. Two guys can't answer a phone when a hotline's ringing, and I see it. When a stick with a light on comes on, maybe answer it. Anyway, the answer is Smokey's Soul Town.
What?
I didn't even know
Because
that was
when
a thing.
he was in high school, he loved the Temptations and the Four Tops.
Yeah.
That is what he
He's
liked.
a Motown guy.
What I'm telling you is he's old.
Okay.
Real old. Motown old. You know? Papa was a Rolling Stone, so I sold him crack. All right, that's a line from Danny Brown. All right, so listen. Adam's got his shirt on. He's all ready to go. By the way, I watched the Billy Joel documentary.
How'd that go? 2 parts, right?
I watched both parts.
Yeah.
He's from Hicksville.
I've heard that.
He was in a metal band where they dressed like Manowar.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, he tried his hand at metal, but he still played the piano, which was odd.
So you're a good barometer for these things. So far, I have had zero interest in watching that Billy Joel documentary. Is there any reason for me to watch it?
The first part, there's not a reason to watch. The second part's interesting. It explores and it's funny because everything I've read about it says the opposite, but they're like, we already know about the Christy Brinkley thing, and it's like, no, we don't.
No, you going in depth with that? No. And the other part about it is his brother-in-law stole all his money.
Well,
right?
he's gotten ripped off twice.
Oh, okay.
He got ripped off in the 70s. He got ripped off in the 80s. So those decades are basically a wash.
Okay.
Do you want Billy Joel money gone?
Like his first deal, I'm not. Jesus Christ, I got to say this. I'm not spoiling the documentary. But in the 70s, he basically didn't control his publishing. And then in the 80s, so in the 70s, he had his first wife take over his management role. Then when she left the business, her brother took over. And then in the 80s, that guy just took everything. He got the publishing back, but then took everything else. So when We Didn't Start the Fire came out, whatever album that is, that's when he started taking control of his business. So basically, Billy Joel made money from 89 on till today. But the relationship with Christy Brinkley, the drinking, he's never had a DUI.
No.
And then he was the butt of all those jokes. He was driving into a lot of stuff, and he was drinking heavily, but he's never been charged with a DUI.
Stormfront is the name of the album with We Didn't Start the Fire, Fred.
Yeah.
I'll assume we forget.
Which also has the video of Go to Extremes, where he wears a leather jacket and sunglasses inside and acts rock and roll. And it's still rock and roll to me, that album.
Yeah.
Glass Houses, I believe. Right?
Glass Houses was his answer to what genre of music, if you read reviews of it. It was Billy Joel. Its features, still rock and roll to me. That was his what album, according to critics, in Billy Joel?
The Anti-Disco? I don't know.
That was his punk album.
Yes.
That was his response to punk. That was Billy Joel Goes Punk. So Billy Joel, much like The Clash and the Sex Pistols, had Anarchy in the UK or, London Calling. That was his London Calling.
Okay.
It's still rock and roll to me. And if you'll notice in the video, he's wearing sunglasses to that, too. When Billy was in a mood to kind of shake the foundation, that's when he put on the sunglasses. And they show the crowd at his shows, because it ends with him triumphantly playing Madison Square Garden and how moving he is and how wonderful he is. And they show the crowd, and the crowd is basically a million Johns with John Wallachs with big smiles on their faces. It just should say every white person in the Northeast just gets together and flocks to the Billy Joel show. That's what happens. And he's got very little children.
Even
now,
Mike Reese is too cool to go to a Billy Joel show.
I don't know
Come
about
on,
that.
Not true.
But if Rick Springfield and Billy Joel are playing the same night, the decision's already been made.
Mike Reese sent me another video over the weekend from a Toto concert. Africa is what the video.
Whoa, they played Africa. You wouldn't think that.
Yep.
All right. Micah Parsons now has demanded a trade. Jerry Jones loves this. The best call I heard to Sports Talk Radio over the weekend was a caller who was a Cowboys fan, and I believe this to be true, that Jerry Jones' Super Bowl is the value of this franchise and the press that it's getting. That is what he cares about. He's not interested in winning the Super Bowl. He's interested in this goes all along with what Bert has said, which I think is the most interesting thing a guest has ever said on this show in terms of sports, that football owners are on a different playing field than us. They're playing a different game. It's not just winning the Super Bowl. It's winning the Super Bowl while doing the best business. Owners that take wild swings in free agency, owners that spend a lot of money are looked down upon by the other owners. It's like you're kind of a poser. You're like half-assing it. It's not only winning, it's winning by good business. which we as fans are obviously not concerned about. And that's why being a Dallas Cowboy fan, he's pushing this about as far as I think that you can until the fan base starts going, what am I rooting for here? Like, am I rooting for a team or am I just rooting for the whims of Jerry Jones?
That was yesterday's press conference. That was his damage control, was talking to the media and talking a little bit differently yesterday.
Because my whole thing is, like, I get it. Like, you're a billionaire and, like, billionaires run the world and all this and whatever. I like the game of football, though, and I've always liked this team. And I root for the uniform and I enjoy, like, the other fans and all this stuff and reading about it. But if it becomes like I'm just watching you basically with a big yo-yo, like just screwing around and dicking around.
That was when Jerry Jones arrived at training camp. He was all, you know what, signing him, he might not be available to us. You know, he's got to want to earn that money. Yesterday was, don't worry about it. You know,
he's
this
like,
is all
don't lose
part of the
sleep over it.
negotiation. Everything's going to be fine.
All right, but Hardy, do you have the Des Bryant comments?
I do, and it has to do with going back to again, the Micah Parsons thing, and for anybody who's not up to speed on this, and Des Bryant got brought up into it. Des Bryant had gone online and said, don't bring my name up, because
it was a contract negotiation, 10 years between Jerry, Des, and his agent, Jay-Z.
Yeah, it's a real love-hate relationship. Love the team, love the fans. Don't get along with Jerry still this day. So Jerry starts talking about it, and he's like, yeah, Jay-Z was the agent. What about it?
Because the agent, when we have a problem within the team and a player, I don't ever find the agent. He's nowhere to be found, okay? Jay-Z said that Micah would make not Micah, but that Dez would make all meetings. Jay-Z and I negotiated the contract. We spent hours negotiating the contract, Jay-Z. And he said, anybody in my organization is on time. He said, my office used to be on the street corner, and I've always been early. So they will be on time. I said, where did I sign? But I'm going to call you. Finally, he quit taking my call.
Yeah, and that's what pissed Des Bryant off. So Des Bryant said, don't bring my name into it. I don't like you, which is what you want as an owner.
Yeah.
Is your esteemed alumni all running around hating you and telling that to your fan base. So now I'm rooting for something that not only isn't winning, seems to be at just the whims of a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like that, like teams, like it or not, are like a collective of the community, right? Like they kind of represent your little place in the world. That when a team's going well and there's like a parade and a million people go on the streets and you're all kind of part of the same team, it's, that little area of the universe getting together and bonding over this one thing.
It's a privately held entity that feels like it's part of the public trust.
Exactly. And then that's something that the NFL is really, really screwing around with. Like, international games, telling fans they can't go, screwing around with the TV packages. I think all that people will suffer. But when it gets to the point of what am I really rooting for? Am I rooting for the Dallas Cowboys who represent Dallas, Texas? Or am I rooting for Jerry Jones and him impressing 31 other billionaires? Why am I rooting for this? It's not fun. Like, go play with something else. I don't want to give my money to the guy that's just screwing around with it. Right. Sign Micah Parsons. You can do it. Just do it.
Yeah, easily.
Jerry says don't worry about it.
As always, in any relationships, there are different moods at different times of your relationship. That's what it is. Don't lose any sleep over.
So just to be
That's
clear,
the one thing I would say to our fans. Don't lose any sleep over.
just to be clear, you don't feel the relationship has changed at all from the Super Bowl, Big 12?
Again, I know my attitude, and my attitude is the same one I've had.
He's got a rude too.
I think the world of Micah. He's an outstanding player.
Read the shirt,
He can
rude
really
too.
help us, but he's got to fit in with what's in the best interest of the team, and that's what.
Okay, stop it, because I want to know this. I've heard this a couple times. Why? How is this in the best interest of the team? How is any of what's going on in the best interest of the team? Why are you running the business this way? This is not a difficult decision. And by the way, like the constraints of the contract are already there. Like, you have to pay him like probably a little less than Myles Garrett. Like, that's what it is. Like, so you know the ballpark you're in.
Yeah.
There's no.
You've known for a while.
Yeah, like
you've known for about 6 months.
There's a
this is where
union
this
that
is gonna
bends
go.
at the whim of anything you want to do. That's like had to, the head of it's had to retire or quit. So, like, what do you want? Like, it is what it is. This is what the guy's going to be paid. You can afford to do it under the cap. You can afford to do it. It's not going to change the way you do business. Like, how is not satisfying him, at least by negotiating with him to the point where he's not threatening to leave the team or requesting a trade? How does that not benefit you? Just handling it enough where you don't piss him off to this degree. And I'd be pissed off if I'm him too. It's obvious what I should be making. It's in this very specific amount. Yeah. And it's for this specific amount of years.
In many ways,
and this is what
better.
it is.
Yeah, he's better than the guys who just got $40 million a year.
Right. So, regardless of what the total is, like, I know what it is. He knows what it is. Jerry Jones knows what it is. Why, even if there's like some language in it that has to be tweaked and you're not comfortable like giving him that contract, why don't you have him looped in enough where it's just a matter of it getting done?
That's the other thing is this isn't an outlier. We've gone through this. This is like the fourth big free agent he's done this to for no reason whatsoever.
Again,
and it's cost him hundreds of millions of dollars.
Like, you're not trading Micah Parsons. He's exceeded your expectations when you drafted him.
Yeah, he wasn't the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And you got him, what, bottom of the top 10?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you hit the lottery.
Hit a friggin' home run.
Yes,
My God.
Like, nice draft pick. Now you sign him. That's how business is done, and he's got to dick around with it. And I do believe what that caller said. Jerry Jones likes this. Jerry Jones likes being talked about. Jerry Jones likes to be known as a shrewd negotiator. He reminds me of someone. I can't think of whom. Someone in a high office wants to be seen as a shrewd negotiator and respected for his business acumen. And he's, I don't know, negotiating tariffs at the time. This sounds a lot like that. Like, not only do I have the best player, I'm in charge of this negotiation. Look at me. I'm the big shot. I'm the guy who's in charge. And that's what I'm rooting for. That's what I'm giving my money to. This is tenuous ground. I really do believe that. I believe he's really alienating his fan base. And, you know, people can do other stuff. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hart.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. You can find our email addresses at 985thesportshub.com. If you would like to, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Toucher and Hardy. You can follow Hardy at 985 on those platforms, and you can follow me at Fred Toucher. And perhaps get in at Fred T Sales on eBay.
Oh, nice.
For this J.J. McCarthy card.
Top bid is what? Did you check?
No one's bid yet because they wait until, if you start bidding now, you just drive the price up. But you want to know how many watchers? You want me to check it?
How many watchers we got?
Okay.
On the J.J. McCarthy signed card.
And even if you're not buying it, if you're watching it, I believe this adds to the mystique of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the would-be buyers. So there's 3 days and 11 hours left in this auction.
Okay.
It is up for $5,000, which is a full at least $2,000 more than it's been sold for recently. 365 views, 44 watchers.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey now.
Check, please.
Hey now.
People watching.
There you go.
People are lurking around. And
hey, people don't walk on the lot unless they want to buy.
There's a lot of it's funny too because there's card guys that are like they send messages and they're like, "How much are you selling for?" I'm like, "It's up there." He's like, "What will you take for it?" I go, "I'll take $15,000 for it." And they're like, "Good luck." I'm like, "Thanks." Like, what is this? This is backroom business?
What will you take for it? Well, that's the purpose of an auction.
So here's the deal. They might be thinking, I can give you money and eBay won't take a piece out of it. Pull it off and I'll give you money. But the thing is, how do I know I'm getting this money? Like, eBay, I know I got the money before. When I mail it, you've paid. So that's why I'm paying the service fee to eBay. Like, if what am I going to, take a check from you and then you're going to trust me to mail the card? I don't know how that works. Mm-hmm. And I know you're a shrewd card businessman that, knows all the ins and outs of the business, but...
cut to the chase. What do you take for it?
Exactly. That's the vibe. And it's like, dude, I don't need to sell the card. This is not my business. I went with my son to the card store. I happened to pull this. I didn't even think anything of it. My son's the one who flipped out. And now it's time to make that green.
Fred, I know you...
I'm in a position of power, dickhead.
I know you sell as you said, it's not your business. You sell intermittently on eBay. Are you aware of the fact that there's no more sniping on eBay, or they're at least piloting this?
I don't know what that term
this program.
means.
So you know how you could wait till the last second of an auction and sweep in and make a crazy bid, to outbid everybody else, and then you get the thing. What's happening now? This pilot that they're doing on eBay is if you place a bid within the final 2 minutes of an auction, the timer resets by 2 minutes. And that cycle continues until there's no more bids. So you can't under this you can't snipe anymore. Which again for you as a seller is good news.
Yes, it is, because if someone comes in with a very high bid, then I can let the games begin.
Right.
Plus, it's like a celebrity mailing it to you. So really, if I hand address the envelope,
oh my God,
then you get that graded by PSA.
Wow.
And now you're in the entertainment memorabilia industry. I have one of Laquadera's used tissues that I have kept.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I used to have a bunch of them before the chickens got at them. What's up, Trupiano?
Peeping.
Funny story for you. This comes from Steve. I've got today off from work, so I offered to drive my oldest daughter, who will be 11 at the end of the month, to her daily activities so my wife could start work early. What started as typical daddy-daughter outing ended up with a question I never thought I'd have to answer. Daddy, what's a dildo? I did my best to answer the question without ruining the innocence of a child, thought we'd gotten past it when she suddenly blurted out, "They're right. You should laugh at the prank and move on. Now everybody is going to do it. Also, can we watch the next game?"
That's making fans.
So the little girl gets it more than the marketing people or anyone that plays in the WNBA.
That's amazing.
You have first of all, you have a very bright daughter. And second of all, when my kids were little, I always thought it was funny, what are you going to say to them if they hear something? I don't know what it is. What's a dildo? It's a synthetic penis. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? I know the guy's not complaining, but it's stuff like that. Graphic sex talk is uncomfortable in front of your kids. But just the idea that someone said dildo, they go, what's a dildo? Well, a dildo is a synthetic penis. Why do they make them? I don't know. There you go. You just had your conversation.
Yeah, done.
Why do they make them? I don't know. What are they going to do? Go to a sex shop and buy a bunch of dildos? I mean, they exist in the world. I don't really know. I always found that, like, what are you going to say if they hear something? Well, I'll say what it is. Because now they don't live in the vacuum. They've heard the term. And, and one day they're going to have to go face to face with the idea that there's dildos in the world. And, I don't know what the correct day it is to just to describe their existence. Now, I don't own one, so I could not give them an example of one. But, there you go.
Dave in North Carolina has a solution to the problem. Maybe just stop letting Jordan's mom into WNBA games. Problem solved.
She is the manager of a fun sex shop in Provincetown.
Yeah, fun sex shop is redundant. Come on, they're all fun.
Go ahead.
Unless it's dildo related.
No, it is not.
The drummer for the song Three Little Pigs, the drummer for them in the Three Little Pigs era was Danny Carey from Tool. And not by the hair of my chinny chin voice is Fred's favorite, Maynard James Keenan.
I think I knew that. I did think I knew that.
That's disappointing for Danny Carey and Maynard James Keenan.
Maynard James Keenan is not a good guy.
If he's trying to sell you his wine, he's very friendly.
His wine that he grows in the desert?
Yeah,
Not a good interview either.
Tough little grape.
No, I've told the story many times of interviewing.
And I have a similar story to you.
Yeah, they told me over and over again how much of a dick he is, and I'm like, guess what? I'm not going to talk to him then. I'm going to talk to Josh Freese, who just was kicked out of the Foo Fighters.
That's right.
So I'd love to talk to him again.
How much do you think Nick's fecal sheets would have gone for on eBay? Asks Justin Cassidy.
Oh, good question.
I tell you who they wouldn't give him to.
Who?
Me, his father.
Why is that?
We're estranged. Nick, give me your fecal sheets. Come on, I want to sell them. This is the perfect time in the North End. We got a bunch of people here for the festivals. Nick, you can't buy time. Cats in the cradle. Sell the spoon.
Oh, God. You were talking about liquor laws. Guys, at most bars have an 8 a.m. liquor license in Boston, but don't open until 11.
Well, I was just saying that if it's a Sunday and there are liquor laws and you have an 11:30 game and you're someone who's like, drinking, like it's more of an excuse to drink early in the morning, like you don't feel like an alcoholic.
In theory, though, for a game like that, bars could open at 9 and serve.
Yeah, well, okay. On a Sunday, that's good.
That's what it says here.
That's good news because in Atlanta, they didn't sell liquor in liquor stores at all on Sundays, and you couldn't buy liquor until noon. I think it's still that way.
See, in Chicago, we took my dad to Wrigley Field for his 60th birthday. In Chicago, my father and I were at Murphy's at 9 in the morning.
Yeah, and there's something like fun. There's something really fun about that is, because you are drinking at an ungodly hour, but there's a bunch of other people, so it's celebratory.
Yeah,
like that's fun. That was like an innocent fun drinking.
Yeah,
was when like there was an excuse, like everyone's drinking in the morning, like we're being bad. Now the next day,
right,
you have to live with the consequences of your actions, which is not always the most fun.
Big correction for you, Freddie T.
Oh God.
Fun to hear about Burt Reynolds, but Lonnie Anderson was absolutely not in Evening Shade.
Oh, what was she in then? She was in a show with Burt Reynolds.
WKRP
No, but she was in a show with Burt Reynolds, but it wasn't Evening Shade.
Well, Mary Lou Henner was in Evening Shade.
Oh, well.
Egg on your face.
We're talking about two busty 70s actresses, so, I mean, excuse my mistakes.
You think Lonnie and Burt were in a TV show together?
I do. I think I know that, as a matter of fact. I would be very surprised if I'm wrong.
That Evening Shade was a star-studded cast.
Yeah. It was no joke.
Hal Holbrook?
Yeah.
Charles Durning?
Yeah.
Ossie Davis?
Yeah. Ozzie Davis. Ozzie Smith's dad. Did you know that?
Is that how that works?
Yeah. They shared the same first name, but not the same last name.
Different.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Tim, go ahead.
Hey, Fred, it's Tim. Two quick eBay things for you. One is I sold that perfect Lance Parrish catcher's mitt, the black and orange one from the 80s on eBay on Saturday. My apologies. So I don't have it anymore. But,
you had offered it to me so many times, but never delivered on your promise. You're
I know.
disappointing me,
I
Tim.
owe you.
You really do.
I owe you, but I'm $167 richer, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I feel like I had to do it. So two, speaking of AI, if you are selling something on eBay and you take it off to sell it on the side, they know. And like Team America reference, they'll write you a letter telling you they're very, very mad at you.
Oh, and then
that
you
can't sell things on eBay anymore.
Oh, that's a letter of disinvite, as they call it. It's
so you're saying it's like is it a sting? Is it people from eBay reaching out to see if you would do that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They if you make any references in your messages to anything that even remotely looks like you're going to take it off and sell it somewhere else,
all right,
you immediately get dinged by them, and then you can't sell on eBay anymore. So they're like, hey, as soon as you list it, we're taking your 15%, whether you like it or not. So just be careful, my friend.
All right. Well, I'm not. I was making the statement that I'm not playing that game. I am going by the strict eBay rules. But I don't like being, shrewd card businessmen coming at me with what are you really asking for? I don't know. Just do the effing thing. What I'm asking for is not to be bothered. All right, I'm doing a big Burt Reynolds search, and Hope and Gloria is not the show that they were on together. Maybe Amazing. Oh, no, he's only one episode of that.
I don't think you're going to find it, pal.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was just looking, too. I couldn't find it.
Nice going.
Jeez Louise. Jeez
Dummy.
Louise. Evening Shade was on for 99 episodes. Hope and Gloria, only one episode. Well, you went BJ Stryker, BL Stryker, 12 episodes.
BJ and the Bear?
BL Stryker had Ozzie Davis. They were like kind of a team.
Huh.
Like
he replaced Dom DeLuise.
Yeah. But he wasn't as much of a punching bag as Tom DeLuise.
No, you don't do that, Tom.
But no one made him laugh like Tom DeLuise.
Yes.
Dance for me.
Cannonball Run.
All right. We will be back in just a moment to lead this ashore. Here is the headlines.
giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
It's called rising and grinding.
Start your
Got
day.
your finger on the pulse, Fred.
Begin your
Seldom
day
right and never wrong.
right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
I know, looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what's going on?
The list of the dirtiest cities in America has been released based on pollution, roadside trash, number of dumps in the town. You'll never guess what the number one city is, but I will tell you that it is in a state that has 4 cities in the top 10. So what state has 4 cities in the top 10 of the dirtiest cities in America?
What state has 4 of them? And they have to be big cities, or they can just be cities?
I mean, it's relatively big, but I mean, this is a big state with a lot of big cities in it.
Texas?
Oh, so California.
California is correct, Fred. And San Bernardino is the dirtiest city in America. It ranks number 1 in pollution. Another large city in California, Los Angeles, is there at number 2, the second largest city in America. What is the third dirtiest city in America?
I would guess. I thought San Francisco would be dirtier than, but I guess it goes for air pollution. So New York,
Detroit, Michigan.
Ooh.
Ranking very highly in inadequate living conditions.
What?
Pollution, it's pretty up there, 57. A lot of cars. A lot of cars in Detroit.
a lot of cars. Some people say the best cars. Very smart people say.
Reading, PA, Ontario, California, Newark, New Jersey, Phoenix, Arizona, very dirty city, along with Jersey City, Las Vegas, and Corona, California, rounding out the top 10.
Where's Corona, California?
No one knows, but Canton, Massachusetts also making a push as we are now 1 month and 5 days into the trash strike.
Keep strong, union. Keep strong.
So there is a way, I have heard, if for some reason the trash truck does come down your street, it's come down my street once by my count in the last month, to get away from the blocking of the truck, which is allowed for 2 minutes. The striking workers can block the scab drivers from picking up a barrel for a total of 2 minutes, and then they have to let them pass. Apparently, if you leave your barrels in your driveway, they're not allowed to block access to private property. But then you're you're going against the striking workers.
And those are the people that you've left so many tips for.
That's right. You're not doing that.
Or
not a chance.
Well, so it hasn't been an issue for me because, like I said, I've only seen a trash truck on my street once over the last month.
Remember the guy that called in? He said a good thing to do, because he was a trash guy. He said the good thing to do is to leave a cooler next to your trash cans, properly marked that it's not trash, full of ice and beverages for them. They like that.
That's nice.
Oh, do you? Do you like that? I like it when restaurant owners just give me food. That's what I like. If anyone would like to just hand me money, I would take it.
By the way, the Oasis reunion shows at Wembley have been selling how many pints of beer per night? Go ahead, take a guess.
So it's Wembley's. It's a stadium, not an arena, because there is a Wembley arena. It's the big stadium.
They've set a record. I will give you.
Okay, I can guess. 100,000.
They're actually selling almost that many for Coldplay.
Oh.
Way more than Coldplay.
250,000 then, if you're going to go that far.
See, I think John looked at it. It's 250,000.
Okay. No, I believe you. I believe you. You know,
but he's been known to cheat on these before. Why do you believe him now?
I saw Block Party in London at like a famous venue. I can't remember the name of it. And they had this thing which was like a little cardboard carrying, like almost like a Happy Meal thing for Jaegers. So it was like Jaeger nips.
Nice.
So you could buy like 6 Jaeger nips.
Sure.
And just like take them away in this like thing. It was wonderful. It was because there was no seats, so you're standing there. So at Earl's Court or something like that, and so you're standing there, and you want a Jaeger, and maybe you say tell the person next to you, hey, can you hold this? And I got to unscrew the cap, and there you go, and I'll put it right back.
Why not
in
just
there
stick them in your pocket?
Because then I wanted to advertise. I wanted people to know.
Oh, okay.
Freddie T's here. He's got some nips.
Yeah,
Who
okay.
wants to party?
All right.
You only live once, and we're only in London for a few days. Who wants to be friends? That's what I was thinking. All right, all of you, each and every one of you, you're friends, and we thank you.